A pleasant good morning, everyone, from Rice Stadium on a beautiful November morning. It's the BYU Cougars versus the University of Utah Utes.
This game is brought to you by the Adolph Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. The best of the Rockies is yours. And by your friendly Wasatch Front Ford dealers from Ogden to Provo. If you need a fine Ford car or tough Ford truck, see your Wasatch Front Ford dealer today.
Well, we're back once again at Rice Stadium in Salt Lake City on a perfect day for football. Jim Marsh is standing by, and we're going to be talking to him in just a moment, but this should be some great football game this afternoon. Capacity crowd, of course. And the capacity crowd means a lot of noise, and you'll be hearing it all afternoon, and I think the noise level will be rising appreciably because of the caliber of play. We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just one moment. Once again, a pleasant good morning, everybody. We're set for the kickoff. The BYU University of Utah football game. The deep receivers back deep for Utah will be Beard along with Tucker. They're standing together. Tucker slightly behind Beard. Now they separate as the kickoff is airborne. It'll be gathered in the end zone by Tucker. He'll touch it down. The ball will be brought out to the 20-yard line where it'll be first down and 10 yards to go for the University of Utah. Utes are dressed in all red. When they first came out during the warm-up drills this morning, they had the red shirts but the white pants. Now they're dressed totally in red. And Jim Marsh, that's a little ploy apparently that Chuck Stobart was trying to work against the Cougars.
Well, anything I guess to get any kind of a psychological edge in a game that means so very much here in the state of Utah, and of course takes added dimension with the high national ranking of the Cougars.
First down and 10 yards to go. Stevens dropping back to throw on the first play of the football game. It is in and out of the hands of Eddie Johnson across the way at about the 28-yard line. Incomplete forward pass. Second and 10.
I suppose if there's one solid key that we can point to this afternoon for Utah, it's the fact that they have to do well on first down, and that means get 4 or 5 yards to make that second and 5 or 6 possible. If they can do that, they'll maintain a fair amount of possession this afternoon, and of course the thing you like to do when you have a high-octane offense like BYU is keep it firmly ensconced on the sidelines.
Huey is at the top of your screen, wide to the left. We'll have Lewis low to your right at the bottom of the screen. All set to go, dropping back to Stevens again. He'll throw once more. Now he steps up. He will run. He is at the 25. Hurdles up to the 29-yard line, and down he goes. Close to a first down, but I don't believe he made it. Stop made by Marv Allen and by Leon White.
Coming out of the backfield again, Eddie Johnson is going to pass right on the center part of our screen. He is wide open, but for some reason Stevens decides to pull it down and run. And if you're not going to make 5 yards the first time, you might as well make 9 yards on second down and make the third down nice and short.
Mola is the fullback. Johnson is the tailback. 3rd and 1. There's a flag on the play. Blown before the ball was snapped. It could be delay of a game. I'm not sure if they got the play off in time.
It may be a procedural call. There we go. How's that song go? Backfield in motion?
First penalty of the football game. That obviously is going to be a factor in a game like this. This is a high voltage game.
Well, when you have such emotions,
ball foul, illegal procedure on the offensive team.
They're going to have perhaps some miscues, and if you can keep them to a minimum at the beginning of the game, of course you're better off as you get used to the game and its atmosphere, which is highly charged right now.
Slotted to the left, by the way, is number 6, James Hardy, as the pitch goes to Johnson. He is at the 25, cuts across the 25, and is bowled out of bounds in the vicinity of the 27. That is short of a first down.
Right away, you see the effects that the penalty has on the Utes, taking them out of first down range with that 3rd and very, very short. Now they're going to have to give up the football.
Sproles and Morrell made the catch, the defensive play for BYU. We have a punt situation. The boot is away. Beautiful spiral. Sikahema goes all the way back to the 20. Actually ends up on the 15 and then is run out of bounds on about the 13-yard line. Let's make it about the 17-yard line. Get it correctly for you. As they spot it down across the way, they'll bring it in. It'll be the Cougars' first chance to put the ball in play. 55-yard punt for Mondaka.
Goodness, that is a great punt for the first hit out of the box. Oh.
If on your screen you're having difficulty seeing the yard markers, it is because of the early morning sun, which will get better as the day wears on. All right, Bosco brings his club up to the line of scrimmage, and Bosco will throw. Gets pursuit, throws, incomplete. It was intended that time for number 1, who is Adam Haysbert.
Well, of course, you have to put good pressure on Mr. Bosco. He's supremely accurate passer and probably not as good an athlete in the sense that he is not as maneuverable in the rushing out of the pocket as Young was a year ago. And as we saw on that first play, as he moved against his passing arm, he overthrew the receiver.
2nd and 10. Mike Jones covered on that last play for the University of Utah. Long count. Bosco back in the pocket once again. Gets good protection. Throws over the middle to Kelly Smith up at about the 25-yard line. Catch is made. And it will be a 3rd down play coming up now for Brigham Young. Mark Blosh was the man who made the stop on the play.
Well, after coming back from a early season injury, young Mr. Blosh has done well. Curtis Sampson, of course, a big stick on that particular play.
3rd down. 3 yards to go for the 1st and 10 for Brigham Young. All set to go. Bosco back in the pocket again. He will throw. Throws over the middle. Heimuli across the 30 up to about the 33-yard line. 1st down, Brigham Young. Sampson made the stop.
Over the years, Lavelle Edwards and the Cougars have lived by those little short routes that have just chewed up the yardage en route to some 115 wins in Lavelle's 11 years at BYU, and no difference in the first 2 completions from Bosco this morning.
Haysbert brings in the play, incidentally, from Lavelle Edwards, actually relayed from upstairs from Norm Chow. 1st down play coming up for Brigham Young. Bosco to throw over the middle again. It is intercepted by Utah on the 35, run down to the 32. Kachoyan was the man who caught the football. The first turnover of the football game.
Goodness, this looks like a misplay by the wide receiver and the quarterback. The receiver turns in. The ball is thrown as if he was to cut out. Opportunistic play by Utah. Good interception. Kachoyan very, very alert in reacting to that pass. Now see what Utah can do on 1st down.
Hardy wide to the right as the give this time is to Johnson. Cuts outside 30, gets inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. And that is the end of the line. There's the team in the white shirts. Makes the tackle on the play. Shumway coming up to make a stop for Brigham Young. 2nd down and 5-yard gain for Eddie Johnson.
Well, we'll watch that 1st down each time for Utah. This time they get 5. Remember, we're trying to see if Utah can get 4 or 5 each 1st down.
Huey wide to the right. Lewis is slotted to the right. The tailback is Eddie Johnson. Stevens with a pitchback. Johnson with the ball. 25. Inside the 20. Still going down to about the 15-yard line, and that is a 1st down for the University of Utah.
Well, the line for Utah, almost to a man, about 15 to 20 pounds heavier than they were a year ago, and we can see the effects of that massive amount of body inside because there was a couple of big holes on those 2 plays for Utah.
25 yards today, and he will have, of course, 1,000 for the year. 1st down for Utah on the 15. Stevens, pitch out. Eddie Johnson at the 20.
Carl.
15. Very little gain, if any, on that play. Defense really worked for Brigham Young. Morrell was over on the play. Also coming in to make a stop was Whittingham for Brigham Young.
Johnson already with 20 yards. Remember now, he needs 6 more to break 1,000, which would make him the first freshman in University of Utah history to break that barrier.
No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. The ball just barely inside the 15. No score. 11:08 remaining, first quarter of the football game this afternoon. Stevens to the line of scrimmage. Johnson inside the 15 to about the 11-yard line. A gain of perhaps 4 on the play, depending on where they mark the ball. Morrell and Heyman making the stop on the play for Brigham Young.
Utah coaches were telling me BYU gets very, very stingy down inside their own 10-yard line. They have not given up a 2-point conversion yet this season. And I believe opponents have tried something like 9 or 10 times.
3rd down and 6. 24 yards for Eddie Johnson. Needs 1 more for 1,000. Man in motion is Hardy. The give this time. Oh, the keeper by Stevens. The pitch out to Hardy. He's at the 10. He's inside the 5, and down he goes. Across the way, knocked out of bounds. Good play for the University of Utah. Executed brilliantly. They're going to march it in and spot it on about the 3-yard line across the way.
Some excellent sleight of hand by Mr. Stevens, faking into the line and then pitching back to James Hardy, who had gone in motion the opposite way.
1st and goal, the ball on the 3. Stevens. Johnson. Big pileup short of the goal line.
Well, of course, this is where BYU gets very, very sticky. Herman and Leon White.
The ball on the 1. 2nd and goal. Tailback is Eddie Johnson. Hola is the fullback. Huey is flanked at the bottom of your screen. Stevens at quarterback can also run the football. This is the give to Hola. Did he make it? No signal yet. Stacked up on the goal line.
If he's not, he's pretty close.
Did not make it. 3rd and a foot. Give credit to Brigham Young. The entire forward wall made the stop on the play.
If I'm not mistaken, BYU has only been scored on first in a game 1 time this year.
3rd and a foot. Stevens. The touchdown, University of Utah. Guardy will kick. 6-0, Utah leading. Ball is snapped, placed, the kick in the air. The kick is up into the deck of a group of happy fans. It is good, and there's your score. The University of Utah has scored first in this football game. Utah 7, BYU 0. We'll be back in just a moment. BYU deploys across the gridiron right now. They've got Parker deep at the goal line along with Sikahima as the primary receivers. Guardy will kick off for the University of Utah, leading in the football game by a score of 7-0. The key play in that drive, Jim, was that fancy reverse to Hardy.
Little reverse to Hardy. And now with only that 8-9 minutes remaining, there's 6 minutes that BYU hasn't had the ball. Parker
at the 5, running laterally, cutting upfield now. Down he goes at about the 10-yard line. Tom Pritchett made the stop on the play.
Some good coverage by the special teams from Utah right here. Those red shirts down awfully quickly, and right now the battle of field position is being won by Utah.
BYU favorite, of course, coming into this football game, number 3 in the country, number 1 with Sports Illustrated. And Utah is unranked. Bosco with a man in motion. That's Bellini dropping back in the pocket. He'll hand off to Kelly Smith, who comes climbing across the 10 up to about the 14, 15-yard line. A gain of about 5 on the play, and make it now second down and 5 yards to go for the 1st and 10. Stop made by Jones and by Kachoyan.
I don't imagine Lavelle's kidding anyone when he runs the football. He'd like to throw it, and yet at some point in the game you have to run the ball a little bit. So in an effort to cut down the blitz possibilities of Utah and that rush that was so effective early in the game.
Good shot of Bosco on your screen there, handing off this time to Heimuli. Heimuli tries to work off tackle and picks up maybe a yard at the most. Kubic, along with Blasch, putting up shoulder pads to him and making the stop on the play. They give him 2 on the play, and it'll now be 3rd and 3. 7-0 score. Utah leading. 7:43 to go. Quarter number 1. Rice Stadium. Early football game because of television today. Bosco ready again. Has Mills flip-flopping. Dropping back and looking downfield. Gets that great protection. Now he is forced out of the pocket. He is at the 20. Slides out of bounds and had enough to pick up the 1st down.
One thing that Bosco does very well is he audibilizes and reacts to blitzes. This time with a pack of Utah Utes after him, he jumps out of the pocket to the right, makes good advantage of that sideline, and slides into second base. I believe he's safe for the 1st down.
He'll have to go out for that BYU baseball team, which does pretty well on its own, too. Okay, dropping back, handoff, Heimuli, 20, 25, 30. Knocked off his feet across the way at about the 35-yard line. 1st down, Brigham Young. They're on a march right now. Stop made by Reggie Richardson across the way. Safety.
I'm looking around to see if lightning's going to strike the stadium here. That's 3 straight runs on the part of the Cougars.
Eddie Johnson has broken the record as far as a freshman is concerned. He is over 1,000 yards for the year for the University of Utah.
Congratulations, Eddie.
1st and 10 on the 35 for Brigham Young, their own 35. Draw play, Heimuli gets to the 40, gets to the 45, and across the 45, works his way up to about the 46, 47-yard line. Stop made by Blasch again, and by Mike Jones coming up from his safety position.
Imagine all that BYU wants to accomplish is to take that fearsome rush off of Utah's defense. They're accomplishing that. In addition, they're chewing up some big yardage. I wouldn't be surprised if Lavelle keeps the Cougars on the ground.
1st down and 10 yards to go. The ball just across the 46-yard line, still in Brigham Young territory as Bosco hands off to Heimuli again. And Jim Marsh, you're right, they really are staying on the ground as Heimuli works across the 47 up to about the 48-yard line where he is knocked off his feet again by Peter Owens and by Mark Blasch. Blasch playing in his final Utah-BYU game.
I guess I don't have to say he'd love to nip the Cougars one time.
When they spot the ball, they put it on the 49, so we'll have it there. 2nd and 7, BYU 49. Blasch looks over the field, got a man open, finds him, hits him with a pass. That is Bellini, number 11, Mark Bellini, a sophomore receiver making the catch across the 40. 1st down, Brigham Young at the 39, Utah territory. Good shot of Bellini on your screen. Jones made the stop on the play for the University of Utah. Boy, they send out the student body on pass patterns, don't they?
Oh, they certainly do. Utah's trying to combination of Mills and Kozlowski. Both in a little zone and man-to-man.
Or at the bottom of your screen, and Kozlowski at the top. This is Kelly Smith. Whoa, knocked off his feet on the 40-yard line. Nice play by Filippo Mokafisi. Hard-nosed defensive football player, that young man.
He fights off at the top of your screen. You'll see 46. come into your picture right there. It just barely knocked Smith off his feet.
And if Smith gets outside, he does have great speed. Young man played high school football at Beaver, Utah. All right. Dropping back again is Bosco, looking downfield, throws over the middle in traffic. Smith makes the catch across the 35 to about the 33-yard line. Good catch by Kelly Smith, who's caught 35 for the year coming into the game. Blosh dropping back to make the catch.
A little extracurricular activity going on downfield. Kozlowski, and who's that for Utah? Mike Jones got into a little pull the jersey up over the helmet a la hockey. And the official was right there in between.
Third down and 3 for BYU. Kozlowski wide to the right, top of your screen. We have Haysbert at the bottom of your screen as Bosco on a third down play. He's got a man open over the middle. He's got him! Caught, and the man is dropped on the 22-yard line. Wilson makes the stop on a play. Haysbert making the catch for a first down. Here's the replay.
Boy, Bosco reacted so very coolly. Watching the center of your screen, here comes Richardson on the safety blitz. Quickly hits Haysbert. That's a great pitch and catch right there.
Bosco is 5 for 7 for 43 yards. Just picked up another first down. The ball on the 22-yard line in Utah territory. And BYU is on the march. This is the draw. Heimuli at the 20. Inside the 20 to the 17. Stop made by Peter Owens for 1. And as soon as that contact is made, there's a sea of red.
Utah generally has reacted very well to the ball, though on this particular drive, they've reacted a little bit late to the run.
Number 3 team in the country battling against unranked Utah. 7-0, Utah leads, 3:48 to go. First quarter on a sunny November day in Salt Lake City. Wide to the right is Orr. Mills, the tight end, on the left side. Heimuli is the setback. Dropping back is Bosco. He's got Smith open. Smith makes the catch at the 10. He is out of bounds at the 6. Kelly Smith run out of bounds by Earl Tucker. First down.
The precise marksmanship between Bosco and his receivers, and it seems to never end. The string of outstanding quarterbacks there in the blue and white from Provo. They all have one thing in common. They've had a stable full of great receivers over the years to throw to.
BYU has a system that works beautifully. This is the handoff. This is Kelly Smith with the ball. He is knocked off his feet on the 11 by Mokofisi. A loss on the play.
Well, I guess for Utah defensively, it's Mokofisi, Blosh, and Tucker. And Mokofisi on the left part of your screen right here, like he did moments ago out of the right side of the screen, knifing in for the 2-yard loss.
2nd and 11. The ball on the 11-yard line. Bosco, Brigham Young quarterback. Possibly audibilizing right now.
Now he's good at that. Here comes
has protection. Throws for the end zone. Touchdown, Brigham Young. Haysbert. Perfectly executed pass play from Bosco to Haysbert, and the team in red must be wondering how many white shirts are there coming out for that pass.
Well, there are a lot of red shirts coming after the passer, I'll tell you that. Mr. Richard Jones, that was Mike Jones that was beaten by Haysbert. He's all alone out there, man on man, and that's a difficult task when you're facing a team that's so good passing the football like BYU.
Point after. Johnson's kick is up. Johnson's kick is good. And ladies and gentlemen, we are tied. University of Utah 7, Brigham Young 7. We'll be back in a moment. on the 5, comes up to the 10, to the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30, and knocked down on the 32-yard line. A great return by Earl Tucker.
Now that's his specialty.
Flag on the play, ladies and gentlemen. Hold the phone.
The way Utah's reacting, it appears as if it's going to be a face mask against BYU.
We have the referee's mic, so let's listen in on this conversation. Big walk-off across the 40 up to the 47-yard line. Here it is.
Face mask penalty on the run back. First down.
All right, Jim. Big break right there.
Very big break. The Cougars are recipient of a break on the penalty on Utah's first possession. On the third possession for Utah, they're recipient of a nice break.
Stevens looking for a receiver, has Eddie Johnson open. Eddie drops the ball at the 50-yard line.
That's a replay of the first play of the game. Eddie Johnson, so very wide open, dropped it. Inexplicably, he's got good hands.
Youngster is a freshman. Before the next play, let's pause for station identification.
This is KUTV, Channel 2, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Stevens at the 47, 2nd and 10. Drops back, hands off to Eddie Johnson. Hit hard, but still picks up a couple of yards on the play as he works his way up to about the 49. Maybe they'll give him the 50-yard line midfield.
Well, many people think that this may be BYU's best defense.
Brad Smith and Marv Allen were the two guys in on the stop for the white-clad Brigham Young Cougars.
Of course, you hear so very much about the other side of the ball, the offense, the great numbers they put up on the board, both in yardage and points. But this Cougar defense not always granted the accolades that are due them.
Stevens looking for a receiver, still looking. He can run, but he's not going to run now because he is hog-tied and dropped for a loss of a yard on the play. Smith and Allen were a couple of guys that got him. Once the initial contact was made, then we have Govea coming up to help out.
Hardy was wide open downfield. You may see him in the top left-hand portion of your screen. Because of the good pressure by the BYU defense, Stevens is not able to see him.
Utah boots the ball away. Sekahima makes the catch in the vicinity of the 10-yard line, and it'll be Brigham Young's ball, 1st and 10 on their own 10. We'll be back with more action in just a moment. Back at Rice Stadium in Salt Lake City, 1:18 to go in quarter number 1. 1st and 10 for Brigham Young on their own 10. 7-7 tie. Great ball game thus far. Bosco with a spin and a give. And the ball is carried across the 10 up to about the 14-yard line. Heimuli was the man who carried the mail, 207-pound sophomore. Stop made by Mokafisi for one and Kachoyan for another. A couple of tough customers in there for the University of Utah.
This is BYU's third possession of the game. They average 12, 13 possessions per game, 14 possessions. I think Utah would like to keep them down around 8 or 9. If they can do that, Utah could stand a chance to beat this highly ranked Cougar team. We'll watch the possession chart this afternoon.
Again, Bosco at quarter. It is 2nd and 6 as he drops back in the pocket, looks and throws out to the right. This one is complete across the way, brought up across the 20-yard line to the 25-yard line, 26-yard line. Kelly Smith with the mail for Brigham Young. Kelly Smith making the catch and the carry. Mike Jones making the stop for Utah. Here's the replay.
The thing that keys this play is Anai out in front. You see him there. That is Matic. My fault. That's Matic with a key block on somebody there in the red uniform. Did you see him as he went down in his back?
With the sun offering a rather unusual angle to this football game, sometimes it's a little difficult to read the yard lines and the numbers. The pass complete to Mills, who is knocked out of bounds across the way. Bosco going to Mills. David Mills, who is a senior, 211 pounds, 6'2". Again, Jones making the stop across the way, and it will be now a second down play coming up for Brigham Young, with a ball resting across the 30 on about, let's call it the 33-yard line.
Because Bosco reacts so well to the blitz, if you show it early, Utah's trying to delay their blitz when they do. And as a result, there's not enough pressure. Bosco is throwing quick little passes, and right now he's being highly accurate.
Hey, Mooley with the football, trying to get away from tacklers, picks up a couple of yards and gets up to the 35-yard line where Blosh makes the stop on the play.
It's another 60-yard rush.
Had a little help from Okafisi. And that is the end of quarter number 1 in the football game, with the scoreboard reading at the end of 1 quarter of warfare here today at Rice Stadium. Score: BYU 7, University of Utah 7. We'll be back with the second quarter in a minute. 7 times for 42 yards. Bosco is 9 for 11 for 82 yards so far in the game. Thank you, Tommy Mitchell. Good shot of your quarterback right there, Robbie Bosco. Confident young man. And well, he should be with the stats he's put on the board. Handoff, Mooley. Mooley finds running room in the secondary across the 45 to midfield before he is knocked off his feet by Tucker across the way.
Well, that flag was thrown very early. Looks as if it's going to be against BYU. I believe it's going to be called holding, and that, of course, turns out to be a very big play.
All right, we will have the march off, and on this particular penalty, let's check in with the referees and find out what the call may be. Good carry by Mooley. He almost broke it. Here's the call.
The holding penalty on the offense. Still third down.
Third down.
Over the season, BYU has scored most of their points in the first quarter. Utah, on the other hand, has scored most of their points in the second quarter. If that's an omen, perhaps it's in favor of the fellas in the red. We'll see.
3rd and 11. Bosco looking downfield, throwing, got a man open at the 40-yard line, and out of bounds across the way is Haysbert. And that, my friend, is the way Brigham Young has been getting its first downs all year. Sometimes they're the most dangerous when it's 3rd and 20.
Well, Haysbert ran just a gorgeous pass pattern. He went 4 or 5 yards beyond what he needed for a first down and broke it off. He had really driven Ricky Wilson, back off, and Wilson was a good 4 or 5 yards behind Haysbert when he caught it.
Sometimes you believe Bosco gets in the huddle, says, okay, guys, it's 3rd and 25. We got him right where we want him.
Exactly. And with good reason.
Bosco gets the rush, rolls out of the pocket in a big hurry, got a man open across the 45, and the ball is carried by Kozlowski into Utah territory on about the 49-yard line where John Payton made the stop on the play, and that's the first time we've heard from Kozlowski today, and it won't be the last.
To draw a parallel to the other sport that I'm familiar with, basketball, Bosco right now is like some Jerry West or World Be Free on a roll. I don't know how many passes he's connected on in a row, but he is hot right now. And he's not throwing bad passes. He's hitting his receivers right in the numbers. Goodness gracious.
1st and 10, the ball on the 49-yard line. A little bump going on there in the backfield that time. A little bit of a mix-up, and out of that mix-up, BYU gained a yard.
Well, very quickly, I'm told he's completed 9 in a row. That's impressive.
Kovic was the man who made the stop for the University of Utah, digging in on defense right now. Again, if you have some problems, not at this end of the field that you're looking at right now, but as BYU advances, if they can, you will have a little bit of a problem picking up the yardage markers because of the position of the sun. And an early football game today. Bosco back in the pocket again. Has time to throw. The bomb. Kozlowski. Incomplete.
Oh, Richardson there was beaten by a couple of steps. That's a good sight to see. Richardson helps Kozlowski up after that pass play. Watch Kozlowski. Oh, just a straight post pattern. And he's running as hard, and nobody's in it. Well, finally Reggie catches up, but he had 6 if the ball hadn't have been overthrown.
3rd down and 9. Key 3rd down play for Brigham Young again. Mooley and Smith are the tailbacks, or are the running backs rather, and they are split. Bosco, he can run across the 50-45. Fumble! Before we call it, we'll wait for the referees to umpire it. It appeared that BYU fell on the football. Bellini fell on the football.
They did, but they're not going to count the fumble.
It is not a fumble. Yes. It was ruled down as far as Bosco's concerned.
Going back a moment ago, as we see the punt team for BYU enter the game. Sometimes in the heat of such a bitter rivalry over the years, some of the good notions and actions between players go unseen. The moment ago with Kozlowski and Reggie helping each other off the ground, that's heartening to see.
The man who wears one shoe is back to punt. That is Johnson. Punts him barefooted.
Goodness
That
gracious.
is a tremendously high pop-up that'll take a good BYU bounce and will be downed inside the 10, but there's a flag across the way. A Ute is down about midfield, and let's wait and see what the call may be. Could be a delay call. All right, well, they attend to the injured player on the field. Let's take a break. 12:38 to go in the second quarter. Score, Utah 7, Brigham Young 7. We are back. 4th down play coming up, and it will be punted again by Brigham Young, apparently. That was called back because of a delay of game penalty. Saliamua was knocked out of action for Utah. Johnson back to punt. One of the great punt return men of the nation, Earl Tucker, is back to receive. He's standing in the vicinity of the 12-yard line. There's the boot. This one, high, beautiful spiral. Fair catch call by Tucker. He's going to let that one bounce, and it will bounce close to the goal line. What's the call? Have not seen the officials rule. It will be a touchback.
On the 20-yard line, of course, I don't know who was down there to bat the ball back, but he was in the end zone, had contact with the turf, and of course you can't do that.
Our biggest problem here today, of course, is seeing that goal line because of the sun reflection on the surface, the AstroTurf surface.
Indicating the ball was illegally batted.
Ball was illegally batted, by the way. You can't do that.
Well, once it's past the plane of the goal line, then it's on the 20.
So the ball is spotted on the 20-yard line. 1st down and 10 yards to go. All right, Utah to the line of scrimmage. Tailback, Eddie Johnson. Short man is Hola. This is the give to Johnson. Good cut. Comes across the 20 to the 24. Picks up about 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Here we go again. Some extracurricular activity. Hardy and Sprouse for BYU mix it up, and I don't know if it's going to be offsetting penalties or it's going to be on, well, it appears it's going to be against Utah. Yes.
Rivalries of this type, of course, across the country always bring heated feelings into a football game, and referees are well aware of it. They'll keep it under control.
Well, it's so nonsensical when the play is 40 yards from where the hitting is going on. You're out there in full view of everyone, and you can't really hide anything. And it was rather foolish of Hardy at that point to engage in some fisticuffs.
Here's the march off and the call.
The dead ball foul, personal foul on the offense is 2nd down.
Utah had a nice little 3.5 or 4 yard gain, and it's now 2nd and what, 18?
2nd and 18.
First and 18.
Reads the scoreboard with the ball on the 12-yard line. 1st down and 18. First down and 18. Stevens with Johnson as the tailback. Hola is the short man. Stevens will go to the air. In this case, he changes his mind. Gets up to about the 18-yard line. Stop made by Brad Smith. Big guy, 6'6", 243 pounds, senior. That hurts.
Well, when Utah does decide to pack it with Eddie Johnson or on the quick feet of number 12 Stevens, they're running behind a line that's anchored by their first-team All-American Carlton Walker. Had an outstanding senior year at 6'2", 272 pounds, number 76.
Jeff Jenkins comes into the ball game. He'll be flanked at the bottom of your screen, and slotted will be Terry Shaw. They've got some burners in there right now, my friend. Dropping back is Stevens, looking, throwing over the middle, almost picked off. Ooh, that was close. Almost picked off by Leon White, 6'2", 222 pounds, a junior. It was intended for Terry Shaw.
If there's someone on this BYU defense that the Utah Utes are a bit afraid of, it's Mr. White. He almost had himself an interception there, was in great position.
If you've just come indoors from mowing the lawn, it is 7-7. Second quarter, 10:57 to go. Mondaka will drop back to punt, and he will put it in the air from about his own 5-yard line. Meanwhile, officials indicate a timeout has been called by the University of Utah. That is their first timeout of this first half. Scoreboard reads at this break in play, 10:57 to go, second quarter, BYU 7, Utah 7. Back at Rice Stadium once again. Official tying a shoe right now. After all, he's on television. 10:57 to go in the second quarter of the ball game. Mondaka to drop back. Standing actually on his 6-yard line.
Last couple of exchanges of possession of the football have favored as the Cougars. Oh, what a punt under pressure.
Sikahema at the 25, back to the 23. What a punt. And now he steps out of bounds across the way on the 29-yard line. Mondaka really put the foot to that one, and I'll tell you something, it was almost blocked.
It certainly was. He was under heavy-duty pressure. Both punters, that's a 56-yard punt. Both punters this afternoon have shown us some good feet.
Gieselmeyer was down to cover on the punt, forcing Sikahema out of bounds across the way. All right, Brigham Young puts the ball in play on his own 29-yard line. They will send Golini to the bottom of your screen. Kozlowski will be at the top. Little swing pass. This one is carried across the 30 up to about the 35-yard line. Kelly Smith, they try to get him outside, Jim, in hopes, of course, they can capitalize on that great speed. He's knocked down on about the 35. Kachoyan and Wilson making the play.
Well, the center again, Matich. Trevor Matich was out, taking his big 6'5", 260-pound body out to lead the way. And he is one hunk of man that's hovering over the football right now. Awfully quick to get out there. You see him right there, number 50. Awfully quick to get outside at such big speed.
Bosco, handoff this time. This is Heimuli with a lot of pressure put on him at the line of scrimmage, and down he goes. No gain on the play. Jones and Blash making the stop on a play. That's quite a twosome right there.
Pretty good surge by the center of the Utah line on the right side of your screen right there, closing down what little hole there was. The Cougars try to make something out of it. There's not much to be made. Emile got stacked up for one of the few times this afternoon. I guess it's well, not afternoon yet. We're still morning. No, we are. I'm on Pacific time. Afternoon.
Jim Marsh just checked in from the Seattle Supersonics basketball game last night. Hasn't changed his watch. Dropping back is Blash over the middle. It is intercepted by Utah on the 40-yard line. Kachoyan comes up with his second interception of the day.
Very rarely do you see Mr. Bosco make the wrong read, and right here there was no passing lane to Mills. Kachoyan was doing an outstanding job of covering up that pass early.
40-yard line. Placement of the ball for the University of Utah. First down at 10 yards to go in a 7-7 ball game. Stevens brings his club to the line of scrimmage. At the bottom of your screen is Danny Huey. Stevens at quarterback. Eddie Johnson is the tailback. Hola is the short man. This is Eddie Johnson inside the 40, and then they drive it back. But forward progress on the play to the 38.
Boy, Neff really met Johnson hard. Watch him pop out a bullet. Neff and Marv Allen. Goodness.
Second down, 8 yards to go. Ball on the 38, BYU territory. Utah's ball. Johnson, the tailback. Hola is the short man. Lewis and Huey are your receivers. Top of your screen. Pitch to Johnson. 40, 35. Down to about the 32-yard line. Close, but not close enough for a first down.
One thing the BYU linebackers are very good at is their lateral pursuit. White and Allen, just very quick of foot. Shut down those alleys on the sidelines very quickly, though Johnson made the most of what little hole there was at that time.
Key third down play. Third down, 3 yards to go. Ball on the 32 for Utah. Stevens, Johnson, caught behind the line of scrimmage and stopped. Let's see where the referee will mark the football. I believe they're going to call it no gain. Govea was the man who made the play for Brigham Young. Fourth down, no gain. Ball still on the 32.
Undoubtedly that Utah's going to go for it there in fourth down possession area.
Huey at the bottom of your screen. Lewis at the top. Johnson, the tailback, number 32. That is Lewis in motion. Stevens keeping, rolling, looking. 30, inside the 25, and knocked out of bounds on the 22-yard line. First down for the University of Utah.
Stevens had a couple of options here. He's going right, and he has a back behind him. He opts to outquick the defense. Plenty for the first down. Now, fellas. Oh, yes. When you get Utah red and Cougar blue together, that's enough to have an old barroom brawl.
Across the way, the reason for the dismay is Stevens is down.
Not down for very long.
There he comes out of a pack across the way, putting the helmet back on. He's okay. You don't like to see anybody.
No, of course not. Of course not. In any sport.
In any sport. Ball on the 22-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go.
But listen, these are youngsters, and emotions are running high on both sides of the football, and you can't blame them for every now and then letting the guy across the ball know, hey, I'm here to play.
It's a macho game, isn't it?
I know I could never go out there and play football. I like the hardwood, the nice, comfortable Marriott Center or the Special Events Center. That's more my line.
First down and 10 yards to go. Ball in the 22, Brigham Young territory. Utah with the football. Stevens at quarterback. Johnson is the tailback. The handoff to Johnson. 20, inside the 20. Those are hard yards, ladies and gentlemen. Gets inside the 19, down to about the 7, up by Leon White. He can really put the pads to you.
Well, we're going to see some extracurricular activity right here and see exactly what we're talking about moments ago. Now, Hardy, of course, is just punching in air there. He's happy. It appears as if Mark Allen took exception to Hardy's exuberance.
All right, Huey at the bottom of your screen. Stevens with a give this time to his tailback, new man in the football game, Cosby, and Cosby cuts across the 15-yard line down to about the 14-yard line, and the reason for Cosby being in there is Johnson limped off the field a moment ago after taking that big hit.
Marv Allen, 6'4", 225 pounds, beginning to make his presence felt. And if he's not in on the stop, he's certainly affecting many of the Utah runners.
3rd and 2 with the ball on the 14. 3rd down. Handoff. This is Cosby again. Bowls his way down to the 10-yard line. That should be a first down for the University of Utah. It is. Gouveia making the stop for Brigham Young again.
Grudgingly, the Cougars are yielding grounds inside the tackles. And again, I point to the fact that to a man almost, Utah from tackle to tackle, 15 to 20 pounds heavier than a year ago.
All right, we have the ball spotted actually on the 11-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go. They got to get to the 1 for the first down. All set. Stevens at quarterback. Dropping back, rolling left, looking to the end zone, throwing to the 5-yard line. The ball is out of bounds, carried by Hola. Out of bounds inside the 5 on the 4. They do not throw to Hola that often.
No, they don't. Mark does a nice job of getting outside the pressure, throwing against the grain, and it's right on the money. Touchdown saving tackle there by Mark Allen.
7-7 ball game. Ball on the 3-yard line. And Stevens brings him to the line of scrimmage. Cosby is at tailback. He spins, gives to Cosby. Falls into the middle of that line trying to get to the first down, which is the 1. He did not.
Pass a moment ago was the first completion for Stevens. Gives you a further indication that Utah, in the 2 drives that they have scored on as a result of the intercept by Kechoian, have been doing a good job of chewing up some yardage. And of course with Eddie Johnson over the 1,000-yard now for the season, the first time for a freshman here at the University of Utah. They're making good strides, and I'm pointing to number 76, right tackle, as the anchor for that line.
Hola is the short fullback. The deep tailback, of course, is Cosby. Takes a pitch out, fumbles the football. Big stack up of players back on about the 8-yard line, 9-yard line. Utah, I believe, recovered it, however, but there's a loss on the play.
Yes, they did. And now what do? Go for the field goal? The top of your screen on the left, you'll see the mishandle right there, and you can't know what's going on in his mind. Reason for the drop. Cosby just...
Field goal attempt coming up, Jim. This will be Aguardi.
Well, it's very important for Utah to come away with some points here to get so close.
Spotted on the 15. The kick is in the air. The kick is up. The kick is not good. It is off to the right. And BYU is held. Score remains 7-7. With 4:30 remaining in the second quarter of the football game, scoreboard reads at Rice Stadium. Brigham Young 7, University of Utah 7. Back at Rice Stadium once again, 4:30 remaining in the first half of the football game. A team that has just dug in brilliantly on defense comes now to the offensive line of scrimmage.
Proved to be a resilient defensive squad moments ago as they forced an apparent turnover, which Utah was fortunate enough to cover up, and then to BYU's delight, Utah missed the field goal attempt.
Hey, Mooley is a single setback. Bosco at quarter, of course. Kozlowski, top of your screen. Pass this time goes to Bellini, who is knocked out of bounds at about the 29-yard line. Short of the first down by about 1 yard.
Well, Wilson has given Haysbert a lot of room, and of course you have to respect Adam's speed. He's probably the real deep threat, the only real deep threat. I guess you'd have to say Kozlowski could go deep as well, but Adam is very, very fast. And respecting that, Ricky Wilson is well off Haysbert when he comes to the sideline.
Question now is, do you treat this as a free down or do you go for the first down? All right, 2nd and 1. Bosco at the 29. Bosco to look, Bosco to throw. This one is complete across the 35, 36-yard line. First down for Brigham Young. And 1 point we can make, Jim. BYU doesn't throw necessarily for touchdowns. They'd like to. They throw for first downs like other teams run for it.
And you can see how far off Ricky is playing. He's trying to scuzzy up a little bit closer to Haysbert. Then, of course, you're susceptible to that down, out, and down for 6.
1st and 10 on the BYU 36-yard line. Bosco at quarterback. Backs are split. Drops back in the pocket. Has great protection. Throws over the middle. This one is caught by Bellini across the 45 to the 43-yard line.
It's Utah's ball. No,
First down, Brigham Young.
That's a good call. Great catch by Bellini. And the ground coughs the ball up, and of course that's not possible. Good call, apparently, from that replay.
The rule says the ground cannot cause a fumble. Ball in the 41-yard line. 1st and 10 for Brigham Young, and they're on a roll right now as they send Orr wide to the top of your screen. Kozlowski will be at the bottom. Single setback is Hamuli. And now officials blow the whistles.
Some confusion in the defensive backfield for Utah. And of course, there's a difficult enough time covering the receivers when you know what you're supposed to do. When you don't, you're in real deep straits.
All right, we'll be back. Score is 7-7. We'll be back in just 30 seconds. Bosco's statistical record thus far, 15 out of 19, 153 yards. That's 79%.
Well, for the season, he's in the mid-60 range, so he's primed, I guess, for his big interstate rival match today.
Bosco with Kelly Smith in motion. Has plenty of time. Now he's going to run with the football, and down he goes. And rightfully so. Kafisi was coming at him. He decided to duck for a foxhole.
I was just going to say, for most of the afternoon, the offensive line, they've done a great job of keeping the rush down. And again, they're facing blitz situations on the part of Utah. They're facing fake blitz situations. The offensive line for the Cougars had done an outstanding job to that point in keeping them away from Bosco.
Ball moved back up to the 44. There's a loss on the play. It'll be now 2nd down at 12 yards to go for the 1st and 10. Bosco looks over the middle. Has he got anybody open? He certainly does. Hits Hamuli with a pass. Hamuli inside the 40 to about the 38. Sampson and Blosh made the stop for the red-clad University of Utah.
Well, that time Utah came with only 3 down linemen at Bosco, and so the linebackers held their position, and immediately upon catching the ball, Hamuli was stacked up.
3rd and 7. 38-yard line. Position of the ball. Utah territory. Tie ball game at 7-7. Bosco to throw deep. Got Kozlowski at the 15. Is it complete or what? It is intercepted by the University of Utah. Simultaneous catch. And that is the 3rd interception of the afternoon for the University of Utah, and Richardson was the man who took the ball away from Kozlowski.
Like the center fielder, he has to be on that play out of the left side of your screen. Richardson appeared so very quickly once the ball was thrown. And uncharacteristic of Bosco, that's 3 interceptions. This is needless on both sides, and I'm not certain who's going to be penalized here. But fellas, they're ruining a good contest, hurting each other's chances for victory.
You have to cool it, and I know it's difficult under the circumstances, the heated rivalry and all of that, but it must be done.
Well, the only other time there was a penalty in this situation, it was against Utah. Let's see. Another personal foul against Utah.
Going to be against Tucker.
Oh yeah, possession of course will still be in Utah's hands. But again, like the last time it happened, and it was Hardy several minutes ago, Utah will now begin their drive deep in their own territory.
Here's the walk-off. Ball will be spotted on the 8, and now the referee will give us the story.
Dead ball foul. Personal foul here. First down.
First down for Utah. They stopped the BYU drive with an interception. Third one of the afternoon. 7-7 tie with 2:33 to go till halftime.
Evidently the Cougars doing a little better job of keeping their heads about them.
Cosby with the ball. Tried to get up to the 10-yard line. Just about made it, I believe, where he was stopped there by the white-clad Cougars. Second down. Second down for Utah. Ball spotted on the 10-yard line. 2nd and 16. Still no Eddie Johnson, of course. He limped off the field earlier in the quarter. It is hoped he'll return because he's one of the great performers in this game. Ball carried this time to the 15-yard line. Whittingham making the stop on Cosby, who now is called upon to carry the Utah running attack, which he did very well, by the way, against Utah State in the mud up at Cache Valley. Timeout call by Brigham Young University. Timeout called. We are tied. 1:43 to go till halftime. We pause 30 seconds with the score. BYU 7, Utah 7. 11 yards to go for the 1st and 10. The ball on the 15 in Utah territory. 7-7 tie, 1:43 to go. Timeout had been called by Brigham Young. Morrell talking to the Cougar coaching staff. Called because they want a shot at this football before the half ends.
Opportunistic defensive possession for BYU with Utah deep in their own territory. BYU really stiffening against the run.
Hardy and Shaw flanked to the top of your screen as Stevens with Cosby at tailback. Rolls right, looks and throws upfield, complete across the 25 up to about the 28-yard line. Shaw was the man who made the catch on the play, and that should be a first down for Utah.
Goodness, that's a gutty little call by Stobart, Coach Stobart, and a nice throw by Stevens.
You know, his patron saints, Woody Hayes and Bo Schembleck,
wouldn't like it.
Wouldn't like it.
No. If they're watching us back in the Midwest, and well, they may be.
7-7 tie, first down for Utah. Ball across the 25 up to about the 28-yard line. Dropping back to Stevens, throwing the bomb. Huey cannot get to it. Incomplete.
And I guess if we're passing kudos around to the offensive line of BYU, you must say that the offensive line for the Utes have done an admirable job of keeping people off of Mark Stevens' back.
7-7 football game. A lot of people expected a lot of points. So far, we've not had them.
Hey, when you get a game that means so much right now to these two rivals, I'd be very surprised if we have a lot of points.
Cosby takes the pitch from Stevens and cuts across the 30 and is immediately rolled out of bounds in the vicinity of his own bench. Allen was the man who hit him.
I think both defenses, and really they're kind of the backseat artists for both of these schools, Bill. The defensive units for both teams have played very well here in the first half, and that may be the biggest reason for this 7-7 tie.
Ball resting just inside the Utah 31-yard line.
Ball on the 31-yard line, Utah territory. Third down, 7 to go. 7-7 tie. Stevens with Cosby at tailback as Eddie Johnson has been injured this afternoon. Drops back, fakes the handoff, keeps it, throws out in front of us, below us to Huey, and Huey is knocked out of bounds across the 40 and about the 43, and that is another first down for the University of Utah.
Now Stevens has made his mark on the ground this year. One of the leading quarterbacks in the nation in total offense. Bosco, on the other hand, the premier passer. And yet in two big third down plays, the last two third down plays, Stevens right on the money.
Another first down, also stopped the clock with 1:22 to go in the first half of the football game. It is tied at 7-7. Stevens now is going to call timeout. Didn't like what he was looking at as he came to the line of scrimmage. He calls time.
Here are the results of the Deseret News Red and Blue Relay, which got underway this morning in Provo.
I believe that's the last timeout for Utah this half.
That was the last timeout. 1:22 to go. Let's pause, by the way, for station identification.
It's after the tunnel for the fifth time in the past 6 years. Utah.
BYU had called timeout a moment ago because they wanted to stop the clock, and right now, of course, they're digging in on defense, trying to get that football back so they can put it in the air. 3 for 7 for Stevens, 30 yards.
2 of those 3 pass completions and the last 2 big third down plays.
Drops back in the pocket, pitch to Beer. Whoa, flea flicker, Stevens to throw the bomb. It's incomplete down around the 5-yard line, and chasing it was Morrell. He was the nearest man to it. Huey was running a fly pattern, and it is incomplete. How about that?
A for effort on the part of Utah, and yet this pass was never going to be completed. Kyle Morrell did an outstanding job of getting deep early, and he was the only guy that could catch that ball. Of course, back with Kyle Morrell, number 22, Mark Allen. BYU had that defense nicely.
That's one of those plays where you get in a huddle and say, well, you run down to the manhole cover and make a sharp cut.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well.
2nd and 10. 1:14 to go till halftime. 7-7 tie. Stevens keeps. Under pressure.
Well, he's got room now.
30.
He's wide open,
35,
deep.
40. Now he's going to throw. He's got a man open downfield. Broken up at the last second.
Oh.
Broken up beautifully by Sprouse, Jeff Sprouse, who was with the man open. The man open was Terry Shaw, and at the last moment, all of a sudden, Shaw had company.
Sprouse did an outstanding job of reacting to this pass on the part of Stevens. Wide open, Hardy, for what seemed to be an eternity before Stevens was able to see him. Another yellow flag.
He ran about 40 yards.
We got a good idea of Stevens' mobility and why he's been so effective on the ground this year.
Ran about 40 yards and still didn't get to the line of scrimmage.
Another one against Utah. Utah coming up on the short end of the penalties this half.
Here's the call.
Is an illegal receiver downfield. Utah.
And many times that happens. Many times that happens when you scramble around so much and you expect your quarterback to run. Ooh, that's a gorgeous scene right there with the clouds behind the Wasatch. Ooh.
3rd and 15. Ball in the 38. 1 minute to go till halftime. Stevens, the quarterback, pitch back this time. Ball is carried across the 40, 45, up to the 46-yard line. And that is Thurman Beard, 5'11". He is a junior, 170-pounder. And stop made by Kerry Whittingham.
Whittingham,
your name?
Had Whittingham not tackled Beard, Beard was going for some good yardage. No, BYU's going to get the ball back with about a half a minute left.
Mondeka will boot it away for the University of Utah. 4th and 7 coming up for Utah. The ball on its own 46-yard line. Eddie Johnson has not returned to the ball game since he limped off earlier in this quarter.
Had a rare treat to talk to both head coaches yesterday on the telephone. Lavelle Edwards, what a thrill that was just to talk to him for a few moments during his busy day. And I think both coaches, in my conversation with them, I think have to be surprised as they go to halftime with such a low score. Goodness gracious.
38-7 Navy over South Carolina. How do you like that score?
I think that may serve to pump the Cougars up a little bit at halftime if Coach Edwards decides to pass that information along.
You can be sure that somebody will relay the message. Mondaka will kick it away from his own 33. Sekahima is deep. Blocked! Ball is across the 45 to about the 43. A big pileup of players. The kick was blocked by Brigham Young. And that is a vital play. Salanoa.
Well, BYU almost got the last couple of punts. Off the foot of Mondaka. Let's take a look at it right here. I don't know where the breakdown was in the inside of the line, but the Cougars with an outstanding chance here to put another score on the board with but 40 seconds remaining.
Ball in their own 43. Now Bosco has good field position. Drops back in the pocket. Surveys the field. Throws deep.
To Utah on the sidelines.
And I think he might have been throwing that one away. It was incomplete. It was actually caught by the Utah bench.
You know, in talking, going back just for a moment with my conversation with Lavelle yesterday, had an opportunity to work with his son Jimmy Edwards at a Utah basketball camp for a couple of summers. Lavelle is so very proud that he made second team all-WAC, all-academic squad this past season. Our congratulations to young Mr. Edwards.
2nd and 10. Ball returned to the 43, and once again Bosco looks over the field, and this time he finds a man open, but it is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Kozlowski, and almost picked off by Tucker. Incomplete forward pass.
Well, it went through a couple of hands here. In fact, 3. Kozlowski, Tucker, then Blosch got his mitts on it, and he couldn't hold it.
Ball returned to the 43 in BYU territory. 28 seconds to go till halftime. 7-7 tie.
Well, the Cougars scored in the closing moments of the Pittsburgh game, so they're used to seconds dying out and scoring in tough situations.
Kelly in motion. Bosco down the middle. Kozlowski. It is caught beautifully. Marvelous catch inside the 20. On the 17-yard line, Kozlowski made a great catch. Tucker and Richardson covering. Here's the play.
Great pass from Bosco, and you can see why Kozlowski has been one of Robbie's favorites this year. What a great catch by number 7.
Glenn Kozlowski, whose brother plays for the Miami Dolphins. Time call, 21 seconds to go in the first half of the ball game. That was a 40-yard play. 7-7 tie, and BYU is knocking on touchdown door.
Well, they'd love to get in with only 21 seconds remaining. Love to get in with 6. Now Glenn is not going to be taken off the field, hurt elbow or not.
He's had problems with that elbow all year. Receives a congratulations right now from Mark Bellini, who bangs him on the helmet.
He bounced pretty hard on that turf, and it's a pretty cool afternoon, so you can expect that turf's not any warm, spongy surface to fall onto.
Haysbert comes into the ball game.
There's a good shot moments ago of Lavelle on the sidelines. Calm, cool customer that he has been over these 10 or 11 years as head coach.
Single running back. Got a lot of receivers in there right now, I'll tell you that. Bosco at quarterback, drops back, looks over the middle, throws over the middle. This one is caught inside the 10-yard line to inside the 5-yard line to about the 3.
And the Cougars hustling their players up. That's a great catch by Haysbert down at the 2-yard line, and very quickly now the Cougars are over the ball.
Pass thrown out of bounds intentionally by Bosco, the quarterback, to stop the clock with 9 seconds to go in the first half of the football game, and a 7-7 tie. First and goal to go for Brigham Young.
Well, we go back moments ago to that great catch by Glenn Kozlowski. Let's take another look at a pretty nice catch by Adam Haysbert down fairly well covered by Utah, yet it was another nice throw by Bosco.
10 seconds to get the playoff, by the way. 8 seconds to get the playoff. 6, 4, 3. He made it. Pass to the end zone for Kozlowski. No good. Incomplete forward pass. 5 seconds remaining on the scoreboard clock.
It appeared as if Kozlowski was going to come up with this. You see him juggle it and his feet are out of the end zone while he's juggling the football, and it's incomplete. Utah very, very lucky right there.
3rd down and 2, inside the 3 actually. They're going to kick a field goal as Johnson comes on to kick with 5 seconds remaining in the first half of the football game. It'll be spotted on the 9. The kick in the air. The kick is up. The kick is good. And Brigham Young has taken the lead in the football game with 2 seconds to go in the first half. A wild finish to the first half of the football game this afternoon. A happy Brigham Young University bench, and rightfully so. That's Mark Bellini expressing delight at points put on the board by BYU.
I would think, though, Utah got the better of that last possession on the part of BYU because they didn't allow that touchdown. And again, if Utah has any chance today, they have to limit the number of possessions by BYU. They have to take advantage as best they can to put points on the board when they get into the Cougars' territory. And right now, though the Cougars have had 7 possessions, the Cougars have but 10 points. And they're used to piling up a lot of first half points. The Cougars all recall that they've done a lot of scoring early in their contests this year. They're averaging 37 points. I guess they've done a lot of scoring throughout the game, averaging 37 points a game.
Ball will be kicked off. Johnson will approach it at the 40. And of course we have the deep backs, Beard and Tucker, for the University of Utah. It'll be a little squib kick over the forward wall, bouncing down around the 20-yard line, picked up on the 23-yard line, carried by Tucker there, and swivels up to about the 27, and as he does, the gun sounds ending the first half of the football game. A great first half of a college football game. Scoreboard reads BYU 10, University of Utah 7, and we have had a lot of highlights. Perhaps not a lot of points, but a lot of highlights so far as the action has just raged up and down field. A lot of yardage has been accumulated, but as we mentioned, of course, not a lot of points. I would imagine, Jim Marsh touched upon this a moment ago, that Navy's South Carolina score will be relayed to BYU in their dressing room. All right, stand by now because Carl Arkey is down on the field with the coach of the Brigham Young Cougars, Lavelle Edwards. Carl?
Billy Lavelle Edwards is tied up with the football game. You can tell he's in a hot one, 10-7, and he declined to talk, which is rather surprising. He needed to get in the locker room, he said. Couldn't stop and discuss the first half with us. He's got to be a little bit encouraged by the fact that they did get on the board before the end of the half. With 40 seconds, they went in and got the field goal. But a very discouraging first half performance, I would think, in terms of his offense out here on the field, and he is very concerned about it right now. Needed to get in the locker room, he said. We'll take a break, come back with more of halftime from Rice Stadium.
Third quarter, second half, ready to get underway, Jim Marsh. Here we go, 10-7, BYU leads by 3.
Well, possession in that first half, even. Total
End over end. This is Parker in the end zone. Will he run it out? Nope. It'll be brought out to the 20-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go for Brigham Young. Perfect football afternoon.
It's gorgeous here in the great Salt Lake Valley. Snow-capped Wasatch Mountains behind us, or in front of us, as the case may be. Beautiful crowd. What did they list it? 36,000?
36,000 this afternoon, 36,110, second largest ever to watch the University of Utah play on its home field.
They've been treated to a good football game so far.
Bosco brings him up to the line of scrimmage. All right, let's go to work as we hand off this time to Haymooley. Big hole, he's loose. He's at the 40. Gets all the way to the 43-yard line before he is hit by Mike Jones. He almost broke it there.
Well, Haymooley had 42 yards in the first half. Many of those yards in that one drive that BYU sort of surprised and altered their game plan by driving down the field via the run. He carried the ball for the Cougars most of the time, and he begins second half action in fine fashion.
Delaney will be at the top of your screen. It'll be Kozlowski in motion for Brigham Young. First down on his own 42, dropping back to pass. Bosco throws out to the flat. This one caught by Kozlowski at the 45-yard line. Driven back to the 40, but of course it'll be spotted at the 45. Wilson is the man who hit him, and hit him hard.
I suppose with the difficulty that the Utes have had the last 3 or 4 possessions scoring, missing the field goal, etc., that it's imperative that with the Cougars leading by 3 points, even though there's 2 quarters to play, I think it's really important for Utah to stop the Cougars from scoring any points if they are going to have a chance this afternoon.
19 out of 28 for Bosco so far in the football game. 10-7 with Brigham Young out front by 3. Bosco to throw. It is incomplete. He was leading Bills on a crossing pattern, and he also had Bellini in the same area, but the pass is incomplete. Kachoyan defending on the play.
Well, Bosco threw for 263 yards in the... My fault, 217 yards of the total 263 in the first half. He got cooking. I talked to Dave Schultes, the outstanding SID, Sports Information Director for the Cougars, and he wasn't aware that Bosco had completed 9 passes in a row in the first half.
Third down play for the Cougars. Bosco to throw. This one is almost picked off by Tucker. It was intended for Kozlowski.
Well, if Tucker catches that pass, he's got 6 points. Bosco threw the ball just a bit behind Kozlowski. You'll see in the right-hand, lower right-hand portion of your screen, there's the pass. A bit behind both the cameraman and Kozlowski. Tucker with a nice job.
Tucker will be the deep man now, and a big threat. He is one of the great punt return men, of course, in the nation, standing back on his own 10-yard line. Johnson will boot the ball away. This man can really kick the football. High kick. Boy, the hang time is unbelievable. It bounces across the 20 and goes out of bounds in the vicinity of the 18-yard line. All right, we'll take a break. 13:34 to go. Third quarter score. Brigham Young 10, University of Utah 7. We'll be right back. University of Utah, the team in red, comes to the line of scrimmage on its own 18-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go. 10-7, BYU leads by 3. We have a man in motion as Stevens hands off to his tailback. That's Cosby coming up the middle across the 20 up to about the 22, 23-yard line. Cosby, 196 pounds, by the way, at 5'9".
Going back to one of the keys for Utah this afternoon, it's imperative that they pick up 4 or 5 yards on each first down play. They did to begin action here in the second half. 2nd and 6.
Huey at the bottom of your screen, number 80. Hardy will be at the top. He now is the man in motion. Stevens with a give to Cosby again. Running room. Gets to the 25 and then is driven back downfield. But forward motion of the play will stop on about the 26-yard line. Not enough for a first down for Utah. Third down play. Brad Smith made the stop for the white-clad Cougars. Anxious fan.
101 yards on the ground for Utah on 27 carries in the first half, but 32 through the air.
3rd and 2, key play for Utah in its own territory. Stevens, Cosby. Cosby gets to the 29-yard line. First down for the University of Utah, and they maintain possession of the football. 1st and 10 with the ball just shy of the 30-yard line.
There's the graphic on Mark's first half, 3 of 9, 30 yards.
Most of those in one series.
Yeah, the 2 of those completions came on that one drive, 2 big third down plays.
Listening to you is like listening to overseas radio. We have a little problem with our earphones this afternoon. Little toss over the middle by Stevens. Bullet pass complete to Huey up at the 44-yard line. First down, Utah.
Nice little effort on the part of Stevens to get the ball to Huey. Huey runs a fairly precise cut to the middle of that BYU zone. We don't see Stevens plant his left foot and really drill it to Huey. Nevertheless, that's a good, what is that, 1 for 1 here, the second half.
Hardy and Shaw are your receivers up top. Stevens, 1st and 10 on his own 44, pitch back. This ball carried at about the 42, tried to turn the corner, could not turn the corner. Thurman Beard is hauled down across the way. Great play. Whittingham, for one, was over there. Mark Allen certainly was up to make the stop on the play. Number 22, 6'2", 174-pound senior. Here's a replay.
I think we'll see Beard should have continued his inward cut rather than go outside where Mark Allen had a chance to get at him. That's an outstanding play by Allen.
2nd and 10, Utah.
2nd and 10, still on the 44-yard line for Utah. Cosby is the tailback for the University of Utah. Check it, that's Beard. Thurman Beard, man in motion actually now. Flag on the play as it was handed off to the short man, Hola, and Hola belted his way up to about the 48-yard line, but there's a flag on the play, so it looks like it is backfield in motion. That's the preliminary indication. We'll get the call by the referee in just a moment.
First half, Utah was penalized 4 times for 28 yards, BYU 3 times for 30 yards. 2 of those penalties on the part of the, that's a good look at Lavelle Edwards.
Navy final score, defeated South Carolina 38-21. What does it mean? South Carolina ranked number 2 in the country.
Illegal motion
ahead of BYU.
on the offense. Still second down.
Pretty heady stuff here in Utah with the opportunity of having BYU win the national championship in football. Wouldn't that be great for the Intermountain area?
You must give credit to Brigham Young for bringing really big-time football to the Beehive State. They have really put it on the map. Hardy and Shaw are your receivers at the bottom of your screen. Dropping back is Stevens, rolling is Stevens, throwing is Stevens, but he missed his man. Incomplete. Intended for James Hardy.
For number 6, James Hardy, incomplete. 3rd and 15, Utah.
21-6. That is a final. Ohio State goes to the Rose Bowl.
To meet who? The Trojans. That's right.
Southern California.
USC. Back where they belong.
Southern California, off probation now, has returned to power.
You had to add that, huh?
Yes, I did.
You had to add that.
They're back in the Rose Bowl. That should be a great matchup, by the way. 3rd and 15 for the University of Utah. Stevens under pressure. This one is tipped. It is incomplete. Good defensive play by the Cougars. Intended for Huey across the way. Marv Allen was the man who tipped the football, knocked it away for the Brigham Young Cougars.
Number 49 there has been so very effective against the run, Marv Allen, and we see a good example of his mobility as he takes a little intermediate drop there, knocks the pass down.
All right, Mondaka will boot the ball away. No rush this time. High soaring boot that will be gathered in on the 19-yard line by Hemuli. Gets to the 20, 25, 30, flag on the play, cuts up to the 40-yard line, but there are flags on the play to hold the phone.
2 flags, so there's going to be very little doubt that this is going to be clipping.
41-yard punt. Punting has been very good this afternoon, by the way. There was one block, of course. That obviously would be on the negative side. A clip. That'll be called against the Cougars. With 10:14 to go in the third quarter of the ball game, scoreboard reads 10 for BYU, 7 for the University of Utah. We'll be right back.
Dance at Kingsbury Hall tonight at 7:30 p.m.
Okay, we're back again. 10:14 to go in the third quarter of the ball game. BYU leads by 3. The football is spotted on the 7-yard line because of the clipping penalty a moment ago. Here's the replay. Well, that was it. Now we've gone to the huddle, and the Bosco talking with the officials right now in the huddle.
Mark Sherman was the culprit for BYU. I don't imagine as he watches this replay he's going to appreciate me enlightening everybody that was him.
Okay, ball is handed off this time and carried up to the 10-yard line. Hebuli carrying a football for Brigham Young University. And that will set up a second down play coming up. About 7 yards to go for the 1st and 10.
On the season, Haimuli is the leading rusher for the Cougars with over 600 yards coming into the game.
Blash made the stop on the play. We might warn the truck. They better get out the smoke signals because that's the way we're going to communicate from now on. We've lost all contact up here. All right, dropping back is Blash at the goal line. Throwing upfield, complete across the way at the 29-yard line is Mark Bellini. Beautiful pass by Blash to Bellini for a 1st down for Brigham Young. Jones knocked him out.
Here's the great protection by the offensive line of the Cougars. Look how long Bosco sits back there, and when you give an accurate passer like Bosco opportunity to survey the situation, and you couple that with the intricate pass routes that Lavelle Edwards has his receivers running, that spells yardage and big yardage for the Cougars.
Hebuli is the single setback right now. 1st and 10, the ball just shy of the 30-yard line in BYU territory. BYU leading by a score of 10-7. Blash with a spin and a give to Hebuli. Woo! Hit at the line of scrimmage. Oh, wall of red. Put the stop on Hebuli that time, led by Captain Blash. Troyan helped out on the play. As soon as that contact was made, a lot of other people were in there. A Cougar is down, and that is Lewis Wong.
The 6'4", 259, that's a pretty big fella to knock down.
6'4", 259-pound senior. He's all right. Comes off under his own power right now, and apparently just momentarily stunned. 9:12 to go, quarter number 3, 10-7. BYU out front by 3 as they come to the line of scrimmage with the ball just across the 30. Let's call it the 31, 2nd and 9. Blash, backs are split. Blash to throw. Over the middle, incomplete. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, and that one was just plain dropped.
That's one of the first times we've seen a BYU receiver with an excellent opportunity to catch the ball, miss the ball. Mike Jones was covering on the play, but Haimuli certainly had plenty of time to gather that one in. He just dropped it.
All right. Blash was the man who hit him, if I recall. Okay. Man in motion is Kozlowski. Bosco to drop back in the pocket, looking for an open man, throws the bomb downfield. It is ruled a completed pass. Ruled a completed pass by Kozlowski, who in a battle for the football came up with a ball. Watch this. Here's the replay.
I think Reggie Richardson may have tried to catch this ball rather than batting it down. He had 2 hands up there, and all he needed to do was tap it. Kozlowski with a tremendous effort and a great catch. The young man has caught the ball in some difficult situations this afternoon. Apparently that left elbow of his is okay.
1st down and 10 on the 29-yard line in Utah territory. Bosco at quarterback has Kozlowski in motion. The spin, the give this time to Kelly Smith. 30, 25, out of bounds on about the 23-yard line. Kelly Smith out of Beaver, Utah, making a great run. Richardson knocked him out. Second down and 4 yards to go for the 1st and 10. Ball in the 23, 8:22 to go, quarter number 3, 10-7 score. Brigham Young out front by 3 and on a move right now. This on the delay. Heimuli at the 20. Out of bounds, vicinity of the first down. It's going to be close. Let's see where they mark the football.
I think they're going to give him the first down with where they marked it.
Had to get to the 19, and that's where he went out of bounds.
Yeah.
Officials indicate
chains are on the opposite side of the field.
They're going to bring the chains from across the field. You're right.
Well, the problems that this Cougar offense presents a defense must have kept the defensive coaches for the Utes up all night, all week.
There's a good shot of the chains, the football, and the first down. Johnson X-ray. He had been taken for an X-ray. Syracuse, Boston College. There's your final. Boston College beat them 24-16. Johnson X-ray showed nothing. He may be back, is the report we have. Freshman back who is now over the 1,000 mark in his first year of major college football. First down at 10 yards to go. The ball on the 19. BYU on the move. Utah territory. Bosco back in the pocket. Bosco throwing. Kozlowski wide open. Touchdown, BYU.
BYU sends 3 receivers to the left side of the field and deep. Kozlowski, the Utah Utes cover up a couple of them. They leave number 7 wide open, and that's the easiest catch he's made all day.
Perfectly thrown pass, perfectly executed play, and the scoreboard now reads BYU 16, Utah 7. Point after coming up. Johnson, the Tom Sawyer of college football, with the kick. The kick is up, it is good, and the scoreboard reads with 8:11 to go, quarter number 3, BYU 17, Utah 7. We'll be right back.
Together.
Okay, we're back at Rice Stadium, 17-7. BYU over Utah. A whale of a football game this afternoon. The nation's number 3 team has now moved out front by 10 over the Utes. Tucker and Beard will be the deep men. They're standing together at the 2-yard line. Now they separate as Johnson approaches the ball. This one is really hit, and it is out of the end zone, and it will be brought out to, I believe, the 20. And the reason why we say we believe the 20 is because the rule in college football, if it clears the end line, brought out to the 30. If it does not clear the end line, it's brought out to the 20. And that was just about right on the marker. It's brought out to the 20, first and 10.
Well, if that first possession by BYU, the beginning of the third quarter, as we take a look at another final, the
Florida beat Kentucky 25-17.
If that possession was important from the standpoint of defense for Utah, this one is critical for the offense in Utah.
This is Hola working his way off tackle across the 20 up to about the 25-yard line. Vicinity thereof, let's see where the official marks the football. They're going to mark it up at the 27-yard line, where it'll be second down and about 3 yards to go for the first and 10. Nice carry by Hola.
I keep pointing to that first down possession for Utah as being key. If they can get 4 or 5 yards, they continue to do that, and yet they can't put any more points on the board. So it may not be a key after all.
I'll give to Hola again. If a play works, run it again. The Utes did. And Hola gets to the 30, and that should be enough for the first down. First down, Utah.
BYU has been very good at picking and choosing the places its defense stiffens.
David,
though they do give some yardage and yield some yardage on that first down, that second and third downs have been very difficult for Utah.
David Neff made the stop on the play for the Cougars. Officials indicate right now that there is a discrepancy. They might have been pointing at the time clock between plays. I'm not sure. They set it now at 25 anyway. And they put the Utes back in the huddle. Possibly it did not work.
You know, one of the, I was going to say shot clocks, but that's not the right sport. But the 25-second clock, the one at the south end of the field, very clear. The one at the north end in the sea of fans down there, that has to be difficult to see for Utah in this situation.
And that is the one they're looking at as they come to the line of scrimmage right now. Sun reflecting off the lights. Pitch back this time goes nicely to Cosby, and Cosby works his way across the 35-yard line, belted out of bounds across the way by the Cougars, coming up to make a stop on the play. Morrell had a little help from Leon White, was over there to make sure he stayed out of bounds. Here's the replay.
What a great career Kyle Morrell has had at BYU, finishing up as a senior. His brother, of course, Guy Morrell, an outstanding defensive end several years ago for the University of Utah, and I'm certain the family has a divided household. Guy pulling for his running Utes, and the parents most assuredly going after Kyle's Cougars today. Kyle, a great, great career.
2nd and 6 is the call, and this goes to Hola, and Hola works hard and picks up a first down as he slips across the 40 up to about the 43-yard line. Molinai Hola, here's the replay.
Again, that offensive line of the Utes opening some major holes for the running backs. They can get across and control the likes of Leon White and Herman, etc. They can put some yards on the board.
6:17 to go, quarter number 3 in the football game, 17-7. BYU leading by 10. Stevens pitch back, this time to Cosby. 45, gets up to about the 49-yard line before he is upended as Sprouse makes the stop on the play. Tony Cosby, 5'9", 196 pounds. We're working, of course, today with Jim Marsh, who came in from a NBA game last night, working the Seattle Supersonics.
Superhawks. That's the Seahawks and the Supersonics.
Hey, listen, those Seahawks aren't bad.
They had a great year.
Man in motion is Beard, as the ball is given again on a power play across the 50 down to about the 47-yard line in BYU territory. Hola doing the heavy-duty work now. Govea and Neff making the stop for Brigham Young. Without Eddie Johnson, of course, Hola is called upon to do a little bit more packing of the football. Eddie Johnson, in case you just checked in, was hurt in the second quarter of the ball game, taken for x-rays. X-rays showed no break. James, Hardy, and Huey are the wide receivers. That is Hardy in motion. And this is Stevens with the give again to his fullback, who is bowling straight ahead for that first down. Did he get it or not is the question. Cougars indicate no.
This is where the Cougars have been so very tough. In those third down plays, they've, again, kind of
fourth down.
Not necessarily been strong against their first down plays, but against those tough third and fourth down plays, they've been very, very tough to run on. And I guess if you can point to a key play in the game, might I go out on the limb and say this is one?
This is it right here. Hardy and Shaw, your wide receivers. It is fourth down and 1 yard to go on the 47-yard line. This is the keeper by Stevens. He has got the first down across the 40 down to the 38-yard line, and that play looked familiar because they ran it a little while ago, only this time Stevens kept the ball. Here's the replay.
Look how Stevens carries the football. He's almost caught a couple of times and dangerously close to losing it, holding that ball out very, very loosely.
But he did not. He kept it and got the first down for the University of Utah. The ball is on the 38. BYU territory. 17-7 score. 4 minutes to go. Quarter number 3. BYU out front by 10. Stevens to the line of scrimmage. He has Beard as a tailback. Drops back in the pocket. He looks. Throws over the middle. This one is complete to the 10, the 5, the 3. Woodward to the football. First and goal to go for Utah.
First catch of the day for the tight end. Woodward goes straight down the field over the middle. Stevens finds him, and you see the rest. picking his spots to throw the ball. From the second quarter on, Stevens becoming a bit more accurate than he was early on.
First and goal for Utah on the 3. Johnny Woodward was the man of the hour, or the minute, at least in that play. 6'3", 214-pound sophomore. All right, the tailback is Cosby. Stevens at quarterback has a man in motion. That is Huey. The give to Cosby. Struggling for yardage. Gets none. Might have lost one. Good defensive play by the Cougars.
Number 41,
Leon White, the man of the minute for the Cougars on that play.
Very rangy linebacker, very quick at 6'2", 220 pounds. The junior Leon White is a guy that the Utes felt like they had to negate coming into today's ballgame. We haven't called his number much. Perhaps Utes doing a good job on him, but this is where BYU gets very nasty.
Beard is the tailback. Ola is the short man. This is Beard with the football running at the 10. Cuts, gets down to the 6, lost yardage on the play. The Cougars are stiffening on defense. David Neff given credit for stacking up the play.
Watch Sprouse come out and take the lead block out of the position or out of the situation. That allowed his teammates to come up and make the stop. Jeff Sprouse, the junior, 6'2", 175 pounds, with an outstanding play.
Third down.
I told you, BYU, they have not allowed a 2-point conversion this year. That's from 3 yards out. Moments ago, the Utes had the ball in the 3.
Hardy and Huey are your receivers. Will Stevens go to the air? Flag on the play. He's at the 5. Cuts inside and scores. The flag is on the turf, however, so hold the phone.
Too much time.
Delay a game.
Well, we go back to that clock again. In the north section of the end zone, there's a clock, but it's stuck right in the middle of all those colored shirts that the fans are wearing today. In addition, the sun is showing and reflecting off that clock, and it's perhaps difficult for Utah and Mark Stevens to see at this point. He was taking his time as he was setting his team.
Delay a game. Brings it out to the 11-yard line, nullifies a touchdown. Jenkins and Huey are the receivers. Shaw and Jenkins and Huey. All right, they've got everybody who can catch a football in there right now. Let's see what Stevens does. Being pursued. He can run. He does throw, however. Touchdown! Thurman Beard.
Credit to speed of Mark Stevens for this touchdown. He's in hot pursuit by a couple of Cougars. And right there, he puts some distance between the defenders and himself in time to hit Beard. Well, Mark Stevens, when it appeared he was in the grasp of the Cougars, right here, watch it. Oh, no, I'm too fast. You're too big. I'm too small, but I'm too quick.
Guardy's point after coming up. Flag on the play. Kick in the air. Kick is good, but there is a flag. Let's see what the call will be. Will it be against BYU or against Utah? 17-13 scoreboard reading right now. Against Utah.
Official running over to tell the coaches for Utah what the penalty was. What was the penalty?
12 plays, 80 yards. Stevens to Beard, 11-yard touchdown. All right, we will now try the point after. And this will, in a sense, be like a field goal.
Interlocking interference there.
I'm not certain what that sign is. We don't get it much. It's interference of some sort.
Well, we cannot hear up here because we've lost all the sound. So, but I understand everybody can hear at home. That's the important thing. There's the kick in the air. The kick is up. The kick is good. And the point after finally is put on the board. The exclamation point is put on the touchdown. And the scoreboard reads 1:35 to go. Third quarter score. 17 BYU, 14 Utah. Will be back in 30 seconds.
the downtown Salt Lake Hilton.
We're back again. 17-14 scoreboard reading. BYU out front by 3. 1:35 to go. Quarter number 3 in the football game. In the third quarter, I should say.
A note on the young man that just caught that touchdown pass, Thurman Beard. Coming into today's game, he's averaging 1 TD every 8 times he touches the football.
That's an amazing statistic.
I pulled that right out of my head. You know better than that, don't you? Basketball, maybe.
You did your homework.
Yeah.
Utah's number 5, Andre Guardi.
Parker will be deep along with Sekahema. Guardi will kick off for the University of Utah. 1:35 to go. Quarter number 3. Here's the approach and the boot. High kick. That allows people to get down in a big hurry. That's Sekahema. 5, 10, 15, 20. Look out! 30, 40. He is hit and dropped at the 45-yard line. A brilliant run back by Sekahema.
Well, generally today, the special teams for Utah has been very good at covering punts and kickoffs. But a nice job this time for the Cougars to get great field position. A couple of missed tackles there, and then it's just a foot race. Unfortunate for Utah, they had the angle on him.
Guardi, the kicker, made the catch, the tackle. That's unusual. You know what they say about kickers. And he proved he's an athlete right there. All right, dropping back in the pocket is Bosco. Looking. Knocked away. Incomplete pass knocked away by Jones, intended for Mark Bellini. A defensive secondary for Utah put a lot of pressure on the core of receivers of BYU.
Well, they're under a lot of pressure themselves, and as many times as they're being thrown at, they're having a lot of opportunity to test the varying defenses that the coaches have worked out, the various schemes. Bosco with great success so far, at least in piling up yardage.
Bosco back in the pocket again. Bosco looks over the middle, throws over the middle. It is incomplete. It was intended for Kozlowski, who was sliding along the turf at the 35-yard line of BYU territory. Tucker was covering. Defensive secondary, Tucker, Wilson, Richardson, and Jones have had so much pressure applied on them this afternoon.
Well, they've acquitted themselves, at least in the point production for BYU. The Cougars have but 17 points. A lot of passing yardage. When Utah's been able to get a little bit of pressure on Bosco, which hasn't been very often, they've been able to come up with 3 interceptions.
3rd and 10 for Brigham Young on its own 45-yard line. Possible audible offered by Bosco.
Too much time.
Under pressure, he is sacked. Yeah, too much time anyway. There was a flag on the play.
Yeah, the clock ran out. Bosco was audibleizing at the line again. That's one of his attributes, is he reads blitzes and defenses very, very well. Of course, I think in the history of BYU quarterbacks, that's been a characteristic of all of them, going back to Gifford Nielsen through Mark Wilson and Jim McMahon and all, Steve Young. This time it was just too much time.
Bosco 22 of 35, 289 yards. He has thrown, however, 3 interceptions.
And that's why the Cougars haven't got more than 17 points.
17-14 scoreboard reading. Cougars out front by 3. It is a 3rd down and 15 play as we have Bosco. Whoa, flag on the play again. Bosco is going to run. 45, fumble. Big scramble for the football at the Utah 38. I believe Utah has recovered. They have. Flag on the play, though. Remember that.
In the area that the flag was thrown, I would imagine it's going to be holding, which of course Utah will
Go motion.
Showing
Wide. Decline. First down.
Let's come up with the football. All right. Petroyan having a heck of a day this afternoon. Here's the replay.
You'll see Kachoyan with his 3rd recovery, 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery. 1st and 10, ball in the 39 for Utah. Utah with a nice first down there, running the option. Mark Stevens pitches back to Cosby for some good yardage and a first down.
Right in the middle of that, got caught on that one. I'm sorry.
Well, now, do you want to have... Bill, would you like communication with the truck or not?
I think I'll do without it.
Okay.
I need the microphone more than I need communication. All right, this is the carry down to the 45-yard line, down to the 44-yard line. Carry by Hola. They handed me another headset, but it was only to the truck, so I'll stay with this one, fellas. Turnovers, BYU 4 and Utah nothing.
I would say if both Stobart and Edwards looking to today's game and see 4 turnovers on the part of BYU, both would be surprised to this point.
This is Stevens handing off this. Oh, great defensive play by the Cougars as the man carrying the football, Cosby, hit immediately by Govea.
My goodness, what a hit by Govea, 6'2", 218 pounds. I know it had to hurt like he was much heavier than that. Govea with Leon White. What a pair of defensive ends, the linebackers they are.
And that is the end of quarter number 3 in a football game. Scoreboard leads at end of 3 quarters of play. Brigham Young 17, University of Utah 14. We'll be right back. And for the final quarter of today's football game, Tucker has left the field injured on that Utah fumble recovery. We'll pause for ID right after this play. Along the network. All right, let's go to work. Stevens brings his club to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 3 yards to go. 43-yard line. Pitch back this time. Goes to Beard. And Beard is really racked up back in the 50-yard line.
I was going to say, if the Cougars stopped Utah for no gain, most assuredly the Utes would go for the first down with 4th and short. With the great defensive play by the Cougars, they're going to punt.
Sikahema will drop back to about his own 8-yard line. Mondeka will boot the ball away. This is a beautiful high spiral which will have great hang time, but it carried into the end zone and out of the end zone. It'll be brought out to the
ball goes into the end zone. It's 1st and 10. Cougars on their own 20-yard line.
All right, 14-22. Let's pause for station identification.
This is KUTV, Channel 2, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Ball brought out to the 21st and 10 for Brigham Young, leading in the game 17-14.
We'll watch early because after his fumble moments ago, it gave Utah the ball. Bosco came up limping slightly.
Dropping back is Bosco, hands off to Haymuli. Haymuli, 20, 25, 30, across the 30, up 31, fumble! Utah football. 5th turnover of the game. Now a flag goes down.
Now that's a dead ball foul. Dead ball penalty. I'm still in basketball. Utah again not being able to control their emotions when the whistle has blown. Will take them out of excellent field position, though they'll maintain possession. Recall Chuck Stobart's words at halftime that he felt like his team had to do a better job of doing just that, and that is controlling their emotions. There it is, personal foul.
14-12 remaining in the 4th and final period of the football game. The 5th turnover against the Cougars. But here's the march off.
And it's a big one.
It is a big one.
And I believe it's on Earl Tucker again.
Here's the call by the rookie.
Dead ball foul. Personal foul. There. First down at 25.
Ball out to the 49-yard line. First down at 10 yards to go. Utah out of the huddle to the line of scrimmage. Huey at the top of your screen. And we will have Hardy at the bottom. And it will be Cosby as the tailback. Hold of the short man. Pitch, Hardy. Hardy, brilliant play by the Cougars of Brigham Young. Brilliant play. Stopped that one, Cole, for a big loss. And it was Herman breaking through. Here's the replay.
Watch him here. Herman freezes Hardy and goes right after him. What a great job of working that quicker Hardy over. Was not to be denied.
Second down and a bunch, like 19.
Oh, I think that's more than that.
I was just reading the scoreboard.
10, 20, 32 yards for first down. Scoreboard at 36.
Is off. Now they just went to 36. Okay. Pass complete. Up across the 45, up to the 50-yard line. Cosby taking a swing pass and picking up yardage. But you're right, a lot more than 19. Now the scoreboard did go to 36. Yeah. That is a little bit different. Now it swings to 28. Third.
BYU has been very, very sure-handed in open field tackling. Moments ago you saw Herman not allow Hardy to break free in the backfield. Right there, a good job by the Cougar defenders. One-on-one situations, very, very sure-handed tackles.
Midfield stripe for the University of Utah. Big third down play, obviously, coming up for the Utes right now is dropping back to Stevens. He may run. Has plenty of room. He's at the 45, gets to the 40, 35, out of bounds across the way, the vicinity of the 33-yard line.
What a great block by Tony Cosby that allowed Mark Stevens to go for another 10 yards. We'll see at the end of this play, Stevens breaks through, and then watch number 18 come out of the right part of your screen, boom, and just level. That looks like Marv Allen, number 42. And he levels Allen. Steve Heyman enables Mark Stevens to get in Utah's field goal range.
Wardy will attempt a kick from the 41-yard line. It'll be a 51-yard field goal should it go through the uprights. It is snapped. It is placed. The kick is in the air. It is high. End over end. The kick is not good. It is off to the left. And with the scoreboard reading 12:27 to go in quarter number 4, scoreboard reads BYU 17, University of Utah 14. Back at Rice Stadium once again, BYU now takes over the football, and Lavelle Edwards has to be a little bit unhappy at the turnover that the Cougars have come up with. 5 now.
4 possessions this half for BYU. A punt and 2 fumbles.
Hey, Morley is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Virtually no gain on the play.
And I gave you a punt and 2 fumbles. That leaves one other possession, and they scored on that. Good stop by Owens and Blosh. Any stop for under 3 yards is a good stop for Utah at this point.
Second down. They do give him a gain on the play. Let's call it a yard. 2nd and 9. This is Mills working now in motion. Dropping back is Bosco. Tries to run out. Whoop! Caught from behind as he tried to run out of the pocket. Caught by Peter Owen. 6'1", 222 pounds, the senior. Knocked down on the 34.
Right there, Bosco was trying to hit Mills on a little 8 or 9 yard out. Kachoyan had him covered up, and so Bosco's his first look, it wasn't possible. That allowed the Utah defenders to get in and get Bosco for the loss. Nice job by number 87, who already has had a big day with a fumble recovery and 2 intercepts.
Haysbert is at the bottom of your screen, and they're going to go to Haysbert. They got him at the 45. Haysbert at the 48-yard line and knocked off his feet there, and that should be enough for a first down for Brigham Young. Blosh and Fields made the stop on the play.
You said it early in the game, Bill. Third and long means nothing to the Cougars.
11:01 and ticking away on the scoreboard clock. Fourth and final quarter.
First and 10 Cougars.
Fields is in the defensive secondary now, number 41. He has replaced Tucker at that spot, at the corner. Bosco back in the pocket again. He's going to go deep. Going for Mills. Incomplete on the 18-yard line. In Utah territory. Flag on the play. Holding. Whistle against the Cougars.
Cougars have been doing a good job again in keeping the Utes away from Bosco most of the afternoon. And yet the Utes deep into, well, with 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, continue to try and get pressure on Bosco, and the result is a holding penalty.
There's the march off, and now the verdict.
Well, again, first and what? 20? What's that to Bosco? Nothing.
10:37 to go. Fourth and final quarter, 17-14, BYU by 3. This game on the line. Bellini in motion. Bosco to throw and hits his man. That's Kozlowski at the 45 to 44-yard line, immediately hit by Clarence Fields. You know, when Kozlowski comes after you time after time, after a while, I imagine you play him a little soft.
Oh, you have to, I suppose. If he beats you deep as often as he has this afternoon, and hence he's going to be wide open on that little short.
Second and 14 for the Cougars. They picked up 6 on the play. Oklahoma State beat Iowa State 16-10 this afternoon in college football. Oklahoma State, one of the rated teams in the country, dropping back Bosco. Now he will run. Gets to the 45, to the 50, and then slides to the turf at the 49-yard line. Caught by Curtis Sampson, who is a junior backer. Utah State and UNLV, that's in the second quarter. How about that?
Tough season for the Aggies.
They play BYU next Saturday.
It's going to be even tougher next week. Now, before they start writing you for saying that, all the Aggie fans here, that game is down in Provo, I believe.
It is. 3rd and 7. Timeout is to be called by the Cougars. Cougars call timeout. So with 9:12 remaining in the football game, scoreboard reads BYU 17, University of Utah 14. Third down and 7 yards to go. We go to work with Bosco at midfield. Bosco looking. Has he got anybody open? He does. The ball is caught by Kozlowski across the 40 to about the 37-yard line. Great catch. Sampson made the stop on the play. Mokafisi made a hit on the play. And Kozlowski paid the price, but he got the football.
Goodness, what good hands this young man has. He gets popped pretty good. The ball bounces around, and he still has good concentration and adept hands to maintain possession.
Those aren't hands, those are suction cups.
Well, he has caught some big passes and some difficult passes today.
That is a first down. You mentioned a little while ago, 1st and 20. Little toss that is incomplete behind Heimuli.
Bosco, I want to keep calling him Bosco. Bosco puts his hands on his helmet. Cannot believe that he misread that play. In fact, he read it right. He just threw the ball behind Heimuli.
Had his man open, Heimuli, at about the 30-yard line, but missed through the ball.
I've been listening to you, how you pronounced his name, and I still can't get it.
Hey, Mooley?
Yeah. Hey, Mooley?
Great back. Heavy-duty back. Does a lot of things and does them well. Dropping back is Bosco again. Got the bomb going. Wide open, Bellini. Incomplete. Bellini was wide open at the 5-yard line, and Bosco overthrew him.
Watch it here. Richardson somehow just lets him go, and he is wide open. You saw Richardson follow him for a moment, but evidently he felt like his coverage was short and wide, and Bellini went long and wide.
8:35, fourth and final quarter, 17-14, BYU by 3. The ball on the 36-yard line, Utah territory. Bosco sends Orr wide to the top of your screen. Bosco to pass, over the middle, Kozlowski at the 20, 15, down to the 10-yard line, spins and gets down to about the 6-yard line before he finally is caught by Utah. Jones, Kachoyan, both made a stop on the play, a replay. Here we are.
No accident here. He is wide open, but the important thing is watch what he does when he's hit. He just keeps on going. He almost gets away from that tackle. Sure-handed Clarence Fields makes sure that Kozlowski goes no further.
The ball spotted on the 7. Wide to the right, to the top of your screen goes Bellini. Kozlowski left. Bosco with a handoff this time. Hamoli 5, Hamoli 4, Hamoli touchdown. Flag on the play, however. Holding against BYU. No touchdown.
Well, number 59. Craig Garrick does not evidently like that call.
From the 7-yard line, here is the march-off.
It's a fairly large play at the outset here, depending on what the Utah defense can make of it. There it is.
Well, unless they've got something like a 50-yard penalty, it doesn't really bother Bosco and the Cougars that much as far as throwing the football is concerned. They can make up a lot of yardage in such a short time. 17-14 BYU out front of the ball game, first and 17. Handoff, Hamoli. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5, inside the 5 to about the 3. Great run by Hamoli. Richardson made the stop on the play for Utah. Here's the replay.
Garrett came back with an outstanding play after being caught holding moments ago. He and center Trevor Matic opened just a gigantic hole on the left side of that offensive line.
Second and goal. The ball on the 4. 17-14 BYU out front of the ball game. Bosco keeping, rolling, throwing into the end zone. Touchdown! Kelly Smith, BYU.
Too dangerous, too many ways to score, too many receivers, and an arm that's as accurate as any in the country, and perhaps the best. Bobby Bosco, what pressure he can put on your defense. And knowing that your defense is very good, Bill, he'd still put pressure on you.
23-14 scoreboard reading, BYU out front. Point after coming up by Johnson. Ball is placed, snap, the kick in the air, the kick is up, the kick is good. And there is the scoreboard reading, BYU 24, University of Utah 14. Back again, we have deep for Utah, Richardson and Beard. Tucker is not in the ball game. Here's the end-over-end boot. Taken by Richardson on the 3, brings it out to the 15, loses his balance, and down he goes. Utah will take over at that point, trailing by 10. The last touchdown, by the way, took 13 plays, covered 66 yards, 8 up, 5 minutes and 1 second, and of course, culminated in a 4-yard touchdown pass from Bosco to Kelly Smith. Bosco, incidentally, this afternoon, 27 out of 41, 357 yards, 3 touchdowns.
And remember when we talked about the possessions that Utah had to hold BYU to at 8 or 9, with that last touchdown, that was their 12th possession, about what they're averaging on the season.
24-14 scoreboard reading. Ball is handed off and carried by Hola. And Hola gets across the 25 up to about the 26-yard line. This young man doing a lot of work this afternoon. Actually, now they mark it down across the 25, negative side, and put it on the 24. He's carrying a lot in the second half because of the loss by Utah of Eddie Johnson, who suffered an injury in quarter number 2. But not before he went over 1,000 yards for the year. Stevens, Hola, flag on the play as he works up to about the 27-yard line.
And
Whittingham made the stop.
the area where that flag was thrown leads us to believe that it's going to be a holding call on Utah.
6:43, quarter number 4.
Well, with time running down and 6:43, to repeat very quickly what you just said, it's almost imperative that Utah begins to go to the air. And doing much of their moving today or this afternoon on the ground.
On the offense, it's still second down.
Sometime soon they're going to have to start to airing out that football a bit.
Second down and 9.
Ball on the 17. Second down and about 8 yards to go for the 1st and 10. Stevens with the ball rolling, looking, throwing. This one is complete upfield to Woodward again. And Woodward gets up to the 35-yard line and picks up the 1st down for Utah.
The sophomore Donnie Woodward had a 35-yard play in the last drive that Utah scored on, a big one then. He comes up with a big catch here. His only 2 receptions of the day are big ones.
1st and 10 for Utah. Time now vital, 6:20 to go. Stevens has gone all the way at quarterback. Will go to the air again. Under pressure, cannot find a receiver open. And a couple of the players combatants square off on the field of play, but they're broken up by the official.
Pretty good judgment on the part of Stevens, even though he did lose some yardage. BYU had the Utah receivers covered very, very well. Nobody to throw to.
2nd and 16, Utah, the ball on their own 29-yard line.
And there's no point in taking any chances now. Effort to try and force passes that just aren't there.
2nd and 16 for Utah. Stevens doing a lot of work in this 3rd quarter. Gets the rush put on him, and boy, does he go down that time as Gouveia found nobody in his path when he put on the pass rush.
Gouveia comes into the Utah backfield with nobody blocking him, and it's one-on-one, and we've remarked a couple of times how sure-handed the Cougar tacklers are when they have that situation one-on-one. BYU beginning now to show themselves to be a pretty tough defensive unit.
3rd and 24. Stevens under pressure. Stevens throws. Great catch across the way. Is it given or not? It is ruled incomplete.
Stevens pass intended for number 80, Danny Lee, incomplete.
Incomplete forward pass thrown by Stevens, and that brings in Mondaka to boot the ball away for the University of Utah with Sikahema deep. Here's the boot. Nice spiral. Sikahema goes back to about the 30-yard line, makes the catch there, returns up to the 35, the 40, and then just tiptoes out of bounds across the way at about the 40-yard line.
Now with 4 minutes remaining and BYU up by 10, I doubt whether the Cougars are going to sit on any kind of a lead.
50-yard punt.
It might be time to think about the possibility of the Cougars going from number 3 in the country to number 2 in the country.
South Carolina upset by Navy this afternoon, 38-21, Jim.
And that's why.
And Florida defeated Kentucky 25-17. Oklahoma State over Iowa State 16-10. Ohio State beat Michigan 21-6. Bosco with a man in motion, that is Mills. The handoff this time to running back Heimuli, and Heimuli breaks it, cuts across midfield down to the Utah 45. And this back is a good football player. He can catch the ball, certainly can run the football, and he can block.
He's close to 100 yards, which doesn't happen very often if you're running back for BYU.
4:06 to go, 96 yards.
Well, I said close.
Your mental calculations were right on.
Just have a feel for those sorts of things, you know.
Handoff, Heimuli again. Fights for yardage, and because he does fight for yardage, he draws attention. Got across the 45 to about the 43. Sampson added a few bruises to the Heimuli body. 100 yards now. Reece Stein now coming up to help out in our isolated booth on top of Rice Stadium.
Underline the ice part of that isolated booth. It is frigid, my friend.
2nd and 6. Ball in the 43 in Utah territory. Kelly Smith, 45, hit hard at the 42-yard line. Oh, Mokafisi really nailed him that time and brought him down. Had a little help from Richardson coming up to lend a shoulder to the tackle. Here's the replay.
There have been some standout individual efforts on both sides, both for the Cougars defensively and for the Utes defensively, and Mokafisi has been in on several for Utah, as his counterpart Kurt Gavay has for BYU.
2:41 to go in the football game. BYU on top by 10, 24-14. Bosco throws over the middle, almost caught but dropped by Kozlowski, who
does not do that.
Surprised me a bit had he caught it, because it was a one-handed effort.
I'm surprised that he missed that pass, as a matter of fact, whether it was one or two hands.
Tremendous talent. You walk away from a football game like this watching the Cougars play, and you have to be impressed.
Oh yes, if things go right and Nebraska loses a game, as well they could.
South Carolina's already lost.
We could be looking at the number 1 team in the country, and what a tremendous thing for the Western Athletic Conference in Utah it would be if BYU were to be able to win that thing.
Is one of the highest punts I have ever seen in my entire career. Ball is knocked down the vicinity of the goal line, and it is going to be ruled, I believe, on the 1. Tremendous boot by the barefooted kicker, Lee Johnson. And they are going to now rule what? 1-yard line or what?
Touchback.
Touchback? Okay, they're going to bring it out to the 20. Officials are talking to the Cougars right now.
He does have it. Just incredible hang time, doesn't he?
That would have hit the roof of the Kingdom.
The Kingdom? That's my office. It probably would have.
42-yard punt. Ruled a touchback, though. They bring it out to the 20-yard line, first down and 10 yards to go. That was so high, it got up in Mark Eubank's jet stream. That brings Utah to the line of scrimmage. Stevens from the 20 will operate in the waning moments of the football game. Throws over the middle, complete very nicely to Beard. And Beard shakes one man loose at the 25, gets up to about the 28-yard line before he is upended. 8-yard gain for Utah.
Just before we get too far along here, the game's over. I'd like to thank the athletic directors from both sides of the house, Arnie Farron for hosting us, and Glenn Tuckett doing an outstanding job of making all their resources available to us in our broadcast. Thanks, gentlemen.
Stevens again under pressure. Pass is batted down. Batted down by Leon White for one. Had a little help in there with Larry Hamilton coming through. Here's a replay.
Bottom of your screen, watch number 41. Get that right paw on Mark Stevens' pass.
Stevens was looking at a couple of big guys bearing down upon him. 3rd and 2. Let's see if they go for the first down here with 1:43 to go. There's not much time to waste, I'll tell you that right now. 24-14, BYU out front. Handoff. Oh, into the secondary comes Beard. Cuts across the 40 up to about the 45-yard line before he finally is hit and dropped. Officials perhaps will mark it at about the 43. Morrell made the stop on the play.
Morrell's the point man on the triangle that the Utah coaches were so fearful of when it comes to BYU's defense. Kurt Gavea on the right side, Leon White on the left side, and Kyle Morrell deep. 3 outstanding defenders.
Stevens will throw quickly, does so, and completes the pass across the 50 in the BYU territory. Danny Huey making the catch. Danny, who has attempted this year to break Speedy Thomas's reception record of 60 in one season, is not going to be able to get it done.
I guess as you look back on things and missed opportunities, you look back at those 2 field goal opportunities. One, a long one, 51 yards for Utah that missed. But then that little short one that Utah missed in that first quarter, Bill.
2nd and 1. Stevens with a free down. In effect, will try to fire a quick pass to Beard. Incomplete. Dropped by Beard. Perhaps led him a little bit too much.
That play has been open from the outset. Recall number 32, Eddie Johnson, dropped the first pass on the first play of the game. The Utes have gone back to that play on a number of occasions, and with the exception, I think, of 1 or 2 times, they've come up empty.
Stevens is 10 for 20, 132 yards this afternoon in his duel with Robbie Bosco. Hand off to the tailback this time. Ball carried by Beard across the 47-yard line, but there's a flag on the play, and I think holding will be whistled against the Utes. 1:18 to go in the 4th and final quarter. 24-14, BYU leading. Not as many points scored as expected in this one.
No.
Too many turnovers for one thing for Brigham Young. They had 5 today.
I guess while we're passing kudos around for the BYU defense, let's tip of the Stetson to the Utah defense that was on the field quite a bit here in the second half. They produced 5 turnovers, 2 fumble recoveries, and 3 interceptions, and gave their offense plenty of opportunity to score.
Holding on the offense, still 3rd down.
Third down. 3rd and 12 for Utah with 1:17 and ticking away. Stevens looks at a lot of white shirts as he drops back. Now he decides he's going to run. 45-50. Does a little hesitation, stutter step, and then fumbles the football. It goes out of bounds, however. It goes out of bounds across the way at about the 28-yard line. Mr. Stevens went down on the 40. Here's a replay.
Watch it here. Mark Stevens has gained a lot of yards this year. This may have been the easiest 10 yards. Let's see how far this ball rolls. Pop. Oh, more than that. 12, 13 yards. And he didn't even have to get hit at the end of the play. It stops the clock as well.
10 yards picked up all day, right? 60 seconds to go in the football game with BYU out front by 10, 24-14. Stevens ready again. Oh, the blitz is on, and he is racked up back across the 40-yard line on the 41. Whittingham, for one, came through along with Gavea. But
Timeout on the field.
Timeout has been called. Timeout called with 50 seconds to go in the football game. With the scoreboard reading, we'll pause 30 seconds. BYU 24, Utah 14.
Stay with us for a time.
Okay, we're back once again. I'd like to thank our spotters, Matt Kruder, spotting for the University of Utah this afternoon, and Alton Frazier for Brigham Young University. And my special thanks to Tommy Mitchell, who has kept us alive up here on the roof of the Rice Stadium, because we've lost the truck. I think it left town. Dropping back is Stevens under pressure. A fumble, which is recovered in midair, and a flag goes down again. And this football game is winding down into the final seconds of play with some unusual plays developing.
I don't think that this is going to stand the completion because it wasn't batted. Or is it?
That could be an illegal receiver. I'm
exactly.
not sure.
There is no penalty on the play.
It was a fumble and not a forward pass.
It is a completed pass.
Ball is on the 41-yard line.
You'll have to interpret that one for me, Bill.
Third down at 20 yards to go for the 1st and 10.
3rd and 20, Utah.
3rd and 20. Stevens drops back, gets a rush, steps up in the pocket, throws over the middle, incomplete. It was intended for Huey down around the 20-yard line. And a Cougar is down, but he gets up quickly now. He's okay. Huey was there to get it, couldn't handle it. He had company.
4th and 20, Utah.
4th down play.
Do you think it's possible that BYU can win next week against Utah State? I think that's possible. And then go on to the Holiday Bowl, where they've chosen to stand by their commitment to the Holiday Bowl and win. Do you think they can win the national championship?
All depends on Nebraska. As Stevens unloads a pass, his arm was hit. The pass is incomplete. That was a 4th down play. Brigham Young takes over.
Pass is incomplete. Ball goes over.
Jim, I think it does depend.
Oh, yeah,
Oklahoma.
undoubtedly.
What's our Oklahoma-Nebraska score? There it is. Thank you.
There
7-0.
Now, if that holds up,
that's a second quarter score.
I know, but if it holds up, can you imagine the delight of everyone down in Utah County?
If that score holds up, Monday is going to be a very, very big day around here in the Beehive State.
Well, believe me, Lavelle Edwards and the Cougars have labored in obscurity for many years, and people around the country are finally realizing what outstanding football those guys in the blue and white play, and exciting football to boot. Congratulations to the Cougars.
Flag on the play as the Cougars kill the football. 26 seconds to go. The Cougars with a 10-point lead, 24-14, over the University of Utah before a capacity crowd this afternoon, 36,000 plus, second largest crowd to ever watch a University of Utah football game in Rice Stadium.
Over the years, Lavelle Edwards and BYU, they've beaten some very big teams very quietly. And now that man right there is perhaps on the threshold of a very, very big opportunity.
We're down to the final 26 seconds before Lavelle really lets his emotions kind of hang
Still
out.
1st down.
And Chuck Stobart and his charges in the red. And that's the score that's been key for BYU so far today.
Cougars to the line of scrimmage.
The Utes have done all within their power to give themselves an opportunity to win, and were it not for a couple of miscues, a couple of penalties that took themselves out of good field position. It may have been
2 seconds, 1 second left in the football game. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the final score in today's football game. Brigham Young 24, University of Utah 14. And now a across the field of play here at Rice Stadium, there is the handshaking going on. The feelings, of course, that were so intense earlier in the football game now are gone as they shake hands and say, "Nice going, guy." Good
And
picture
that's
on the
as
field.
it should be. Chuck Stobart on your right, Lavelle Edwards on your left.
The two coaches meet in the center of the field. Lavelle Edwards with a marvelous record at the BYU. Stobart, of course, in his third year at the University of Utah. A good, hard-fought football game. A 10-point loss for the University of Utah. A 10-point victory for Brigham Young. Brigham Young is now 11-0 on the year. And they've got one more football game.
Who knows
Utah
what
State.
bigger and better things are in store for those guys.
And in a sense, may I correct it, they have two more football games because they have
Holiday Bowl.
in the Holiday Bowl. There's your final score, 24 for BYU, 14 for the University of Utah. We have Carl Arkey standing by down on the field of play, so let's go downstairs to Carl Arkey. Carl?
Okay, Billy, we've got the winning coach, Lavelle Edwards, with us. Coach, you got to be pleased with that one. Very hard fought.
Well, we really are. You know, you turn the ball over 5 or 6 times like we did today, and against a great offensive football team, and hold them off. And a lot of the turnovers were down deep where they had a chance to get on the board, and our defense just played super. Then we put together 2 90-yard drives offensively. As much trouble as we were having, we were able to do that, and this is just kind of the mark of this ball club all year long. So we're just very proud of them.
I think you'll agree, we didn't really see the BYU football team people have come to expect.
Well, I look at it, I think we did. I think we saw a team that had a lot of heart and a lot of courage. This is tough, coming up here and them being out of the title run. If they were in it, it's a different kind of ball game for them. And all the pressure was on us and all the, everything that goes into it. And plus, as I said, Utah's good. They did a good job, and the courage and the character we had to overcome all those turnovers and adversities and whatever. To me, that's a mark of a good football team, and that's why I'm very proud of this team.
Final question, Coach. I know you haven't had time to think about anything, but South Carolina has lost already. Nebraska is losing. What do you think?
It's so strange what's happened so far. It's like I said last week, I think we have as legitimate claim as anybody, at least for a week. You could go on but we're just very pleased today, and I'll got Utah State next week, and then I'll sit back and start worrying about those polls and whatever.
Okay, Coach, thanks very much.
Thanks,
Congratulations,
Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
All right, Coach Lavelle Edwards, the winning coach out here at Rice Stadium this afternoon, is BYU Cougars knocking off Utah, and we'll be back with more on the postgame show after this timeout.